This week on NintenDomain, does Mario cereal taste better than Fruity Pebbles? Is there going to be a Direct this week? What's going on with this crazy frenzy about the Direct? We'll find out.
I think it's going to be Little Inferno Chibi Robo Edition.
We constantly refresh our browsers for Direct news.
Yeah.
This is a test. This is only a test. This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is a test. This is only a test. This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcast system. 3 minutes after the hour. 3 minutes after the hour. We gotta bail out super early. 3 minutes after the hour. 3 minutes after the hour. We gotta bail out super early. This is a test.
All right, welcome to NintenDomain episode 103, an age that we will probably never live to. Unless, well, who knows? We might have robot bodies by then. Anyway, we are your hosts. I'm Trey, still chasing that motorcycle Johnson.
I'm Jereme Dual R Dubois Mikowski.
I'm Jono Robo Knitter.
Wouldn't it be like Johnny Robo or GB Robo?
Yeah, I could be Johnny Robo.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
I like GB Robo, which is so close to
GB Robo.
GB Robo. Anyway, we're our hosts. We are your hosts. This is NintenDomain Podcast, your place for all the Nintendo news from people that don't work for news things like us. Like people like you, to tell you stuff about how we feel about games. Anyway, this is the big breakfasting that we talked about
This
last
is the
week.
breakfasting.
Yes.
The breakfasting.
So we figured that, we all have these boxes of cereal. They did actually get here in the mail. So we were going to have a live sort of where we're going to record us opening the cereal and tasting it and all that. None of us has had it yet, so it's kind of our big...
I've been sitting on, how many boxes? 20 boxes of cereal for like a week.
without
haven't
opening
eaten
any of
yet,
them.
John?
I've not even opened the box.
Wow.
I guess I could have said
It's taken incredible courage and
I
determination.
I almost ate some of this the other night. I was really hungry. It was kind of drunk.
And it was there.
I was like, I got 2 boxes. I could open one now and then pretend like I hadn't had any. Here's my prediction, and I haven't read this anywhere. This is just my prediction. I think it's going to taste like Frankenberry.
Oh, yeah.
Frankenberry, really. I'm going with Lucky Charms.
What is your favorite... How about this? What is your favorite of the monster cereals? Mine is Count Chocula. Of course, that's an easy one.
Count Chocula was the most common,
Count
but I think
Chocula.
Frankenberry was probably the best.
Well,
'Cause you didn't see that
Fruity-
everywhere.
Fruity Yummy Mummy was really good. That
Yeah,
was really rare.
Well, there's a wolf one now. Also, I don't remember what it's called, but there's a werewolf version.
Oh, dog hair.
Yeah, dog hair. That's what it's called. Because kids love to eat dog hair.
This is a bowl of dog hair.
It's called a dog slobber cereal. That's like what the milk is. It's just basically like the shoestrings that hang out there in the mouth and all that. Like Turner and
Your
Hooch.
milk
It's great.
mucusy.
Yeah. Anyway, I opened my box. Did you guys open yours yet?
Oh,
No, I thought we were going to do a 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry. I got a little anxious. All right,
Let's
1,
do it.
2,
All right.
3.
Me and Jeremy. 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Be very careful. These are going to be worth a lot of money.
I don't know if
my
I'm
God.
actually going to save that other box. Have you guys, Jeremy, have you seen any cereal since you got this cereal?
What?
I mean, you haven't seen any of this in the wild, right? Since you received it in the mail from
I
John?
still haven't. I've been looking everywhere still.
Yeah, I've been looking too, and I still haven't found it. I
I
thought
haven't
maybe
seen them except for that one time.
I went
I
to a
got 21 boxes.
Target in Warrenville last night. I thought I would find it there because Warrenville was a bizarre-ass place. But I did not find it there. All right, do we have to count down
All
to
right.
3 before this, too?
First impression, the bag is very small.
First
It looks like
impression,
there's probably maybe 2 bowls worth in each bag.
I was going to say, first impression, we lost like
Yeah,
30% of our investment here.
Yeah.
We're only getting 70% worth of cereal, but I think that's the way things work in this consumerist world that we live in.
There's no prize.
Yeah, no prize anymore.
No prizes.
Yeah, where's
Ooh,
the...
Doesn't
let's
look
look
like
in the
there's a
box.
whole lot
Let's
of
see what the...
marshmallows.
Oh, I see the little amiibo thing inside the box.
There's a whole lot of
See it?
Starmies in here.
Hold
You-
on.
You see the amiibo thing? What do you mean?
I mean, the amiibo sensor
Oh,
that's taped to the box.
oh, mine isn't taped to the box. Oh no! Did I not get an amiibo? Did I not get an amiibo?
Yeah, it's like a little It almost looks like a little nicotine patch or something.
I can't. Oh, there it is. There it is. I see it. It totally looks like a nicotine patch.
It does. If you need your amiibo fix,
Just gonna
there you go.
cut to me
Stick it on your arm.
cut to me licking it. I'm
That's
like,
the amiibo.
amiibo.
So you
Need
could
it.
cut this out and put it on any anything you wanted, turn it into
Anything could be an amiibo.
Well, see, if you were actually lucky to actually see these in the store, you could bring your Switch in there and just be like, taking it. Just swipe it, and then you have it. That's what you could do.
Or like if you're down to 1 heart, you could like leave your house, go to a Walmart or something,
You could.
get your 1 heart.
I hope you get
and
more
eat
than.
some fruit while you're there for your own health.
I hope you get more than 1 heart for going all the way there. Like really, they should like fill all your hearts up and give you more.
All right,
There's
let's
a
pop
pipe
this
made
bag
for
open.
that.
I'm ready to pop the bag open. Let's do it. This is why people
Mike
listen
does
to
not
this.
like this.
Listen to this show to hear the sexy noises of bags. That's why I
like-
tune in.
Smells like strawberry.
Yeah, it smells like strawberry.
Smells like napalm or strawberry.
Right.
I mean,
Cereal is entering the bowl.
This is a bowl my friend Mike handmade. Show it off.
This
on
is
the podcast.
this whole
Nice
ordeal.
bowl.
design there.
This whole ordeal reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, UHF. You guys remember that movie where Stanley
Love that
Spadowski
movie.
eats the cereal and he's like, "This tastes like poop." I hope it doesn't taste. I hope it tastes better than that. And all he does is to just take the little parachute guy out of it and swings him around for a while. See that movie if you haven't seen it. It's an excellent movie.
I just noticed that you can see a kingdom map on the. There's a map on the box.
There's a map.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah, it's
maze?
background.
The maze in the back?
No, there's the whole box is imprinted with the map of the kingdom.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like the it's what they follow on the whatever. On the
Did you
Odyssey.
guys have you milked your cereal yet?
I've not milked the cereal yet. Are we milking now?
You know what the marshmallows? first?
We're milking this for all it's worth. Is what we're doing.
Oh, we
right
should
here.
examine the marshmallows. Yeah, let's see what
I
we
think
got.
should All right, we got. Here's the stars.
I got one that
We got a
looks
one
like
up.
we got a burnt
That's
toast
the
one
first.
right here. It looks like burnt toast. I hope it tastes like it too.
There's a 1-up.
Mine all there's
I have a red one, which is something. I don't know what that is.
There's a Yoshi egg. There's a unboxing in audio form. That's the whole reason to listen to Nintendo Man.
Oh, it's a Mario hat. The red one is a Mario
Oh, is
hat.
that what that is? I thought maybe it was like a Korok seed turd or something, like what you get when you get 900 of them.
It's got the little white blob. That's where the M is.
What?
Yeah.
Can anyone
Oh
decide?
wow! Yep.
Anybody
That's
decipher what
Cap.
this is? This
See, look.
mallow
The
when
green one?
it's just yellow.
The yellow one.
Mallow in his dead form.
Is that supposed to be
right
a
here.
star?
I don't know.
Oh, no, it's a question block.
It's not a block. It's like a cloud. Look at it. It's not. There's nothing block.
Is that the green one or is that the yellow one?
It's yellow. Kind of looks like a butt.
The yellow one is a question block. The green one is a 1-up mushroom.
Okay, well, it is neither of those because it is round, and it has a butt-like thing on it.
Maybe it's a coin.
They really need a. Yeah, it could be a coin, I guess.
No, all I see is the red mushroom, the green mushroom, and
No, this
question
this
block.
is
That's what it
the
shows on
question
box.
block is the burnt toast one. I said look like burnt toast, but there's this other butt-like one that's yellow and round. It looks like it has a butt on it. I wish there was something on the box that told you what the marshmallows were.
That's the Mario butt stomp
yeah.
in marshmallow form.
It really doesn't. It doesn't. It's not like a Lucky Charms where it's hey, we got red balloons and purple horseshoes and whatever. It's just it doesn't even show the yellow one on there. Maybe that's the one that has the metal ring in it that cuts your stomach up after you eat it.
Boy,
Each marshmallow is
You can
also an
only
amiibo. they put electronics in each marshmallow.
All right, this we gonna eat this this
we're gonna put some
masterpiece
milk on this shit.
of
Let's
whatever.
do it.
All right, here we go.
All right, I got my milk. Got my milk right here.
The milk is being poured.
I'm gonna try not to hit the computer because that would ruin the whole thing. There you go. I like to put a little bit of milk in there because even though I like milk a lot, I don't like milk
I can
after
smell the
cereal.
dairy, once the milk hits it, it hydrates berries.
All right, so we haven't eaten food on the show since that one time that I ate an apple and everybody got pissed. So this is the first for Nintendo Main. So, but we're doing this intentionally. So that was like our third episode or something.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
All right.
3, 2,
Cheers,
1.
Time to taste.
Cheers.
Mm.
I need another spoon. First impression,
I've had better.
kind of bland.
Let me tell you, the actual cereal part of it is kind of weird. Kind of tastes strange. I mean, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a little bland.
The stars have a really strange taste to them.
Stars do. You think?
Definitely got a kind of a generic vibe. Oh, good though.
Well, like most Nintendo themed food, it never lives up to the games that it's made about. It's
So
like,
I don't know if I explained it on the show
It's like that
last
Super
week, we
Mario
talked a
wallet
little
I
bit
got.
about the
It
cereal.
fell apart.
about how I got it, but this for me, I never got to eat Nintendo cereal. I never tried it as a kid.
I don't remember
And
ever
so-
eating it. I don't think I did.
But this for me is like as close as I'm going to get to eating Nintendo cereal. This is like the fulfillment of a 30-year need or wish or whatever you want to say. And
Was it all that you hoped for?
well, judging from all that I've heard about Nintendo cereal, I guess it lives up to the hype.
Yeah. I mean, it
That
doesn't.
was
It doesn't.
Bland
really-
and not that great.
But that's like something I mean, it's not something you would say about like Super Mario Odyssey. Like, it doesn't feel like you're really tasting all the beautiful colors of a Mario game or how much fun they are
No.
to play. I don't know.
I think it's not a cereal worthy of the Mario name, but I'm glad I have it.
Let me ask you this: What game would you compare the cereal to? Like, what is a game that is this like Double Dragon Neon for you, or was
This
it
is like Double Dragon Neon.
Oh, you got Double Dragon 4, not Neon. Sorry,
I got
confused.
Double Dragon 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like that level, or is it more like Oceanhorn?
I don't know. This is kind of bending my mind having to compare cereal to a video game
Well,
in terms of quality. Which is better?
It's like the birth of your third kid.
is this like Urban Yeti level maybe of cereal greatness? Like you could say like the cereal's like a 5 out of 10, like I don't know, China Warrior or something that got a score like that.
Say you're like a serial killer, no pun intended. It'd be like Victim 8.
Yeah.
It's still like
I'm not really feeling it anymore.
you're feeling it, but it doesn't last for as long. You're just like, time for 9, I guess.
I feel like Congress
okay.
should ban
This is good. It
breakfast is
doesn't really
unsafe
taste
now.
like berries. Like I thought it would be more berry.
Like Lucky Charms is better, I think.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think every cereal I've had is better than this.
Honestly, this reminds me of generic Lucky Charms, and I ate a lot of different types of those growing up. Especially these wheat bits.
I'm sorry, Nintendo. Send us some free cereal. Send us, or don't send us free cereal. Send us free games.
It's still good. It's just not great.
It's not remarkable.
It could have like a bit more strawberry flavor, and that would change a lot.
Yeah, it's not on the level of It's not on the level of any of the monster cereals. I don't think it's Lucky Charms level either.
Mm-mm.
It's definitely not Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles is the crack of cereal.
How do you feel about the marshmallow to regular star piece ratio?
I wish there were more.
Slacking. I think
wish
so,
there were
too.
more marshmallows because I actually kind of like the marshmallows, but not the other stuff in there.
Oh, and another thing to know. It's going to be a question block. Can it be a square at least? Come on.
Yeah, it's not a square at all.
It's like a hexagon.
Well, my marshmallows are gone. Thus, the fun of that bowl is gone.
It's not that great. Maybe they'll release more marshmallows as DLC.
You got to scan other boxes of cereal to get them on there. You got to scan them together.
The marshmallows. I'd give this out of 10. I'd give it maybe a 5.5.
5.5. Yeah, I go maybe 5.3.
Like any other cereal, like I want to keep eating it. Like,
how does it compare? How does it compare to eating Switch games? What's better, eating this cereal or licking Switch cartridges?
Maybe that's the missing ingredient. You drop the Switch game in, and it like the bitterness is balanced out by the sweetness, and you unlock the true
Switch
flavor.
game. I'd give a Switch game a 2.8.
Wow! Did you taste a Switch game?
I've tasted one.
You could give it a 2.8.
2.8. It's interesting.
Isn't that kind of high?
Memorable.
Maybe if you're thinking about it like wine or something, like I could taste the oaky note and the earwax afterbirth taste.
Well, that's our show for the week. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. You can find us at NintenDomainPodcast.com.
I'm gonna go put my milk in the fridge so it doesn't start so bad.
You can take a break.
I'm just gonna drink this.
Well, see, I brought my milk in cup form, so I can drink the rest of it.
Okay.
Have you ever had Campbell's Super Mario Brothers cereal? Or not cereal, the soup? It's kind of about the same, where it's not really all that good, but it has Mario shapes.
No, I never had that.
I think I
Super
bought
Mario soup.
Yeah, I mean you can get it. Like you can get like anything soup now. You can get like a Star Wars soup and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can get other Nintendo food products. Like I think there was a fruit snacks and things, a couple of years ago, or the little candies that are out.
Yeah, you can
There's
still
something special about having a cereal.
Well, we didn't have it yet.
Mario cereal, pretty cool.
The one thing that I did eat the Nintendo cereal system, and the one thing I remember being most impressed with was it had a toy.
Yeah,
it had a toy.
Yeah, it was like a pinball game with little candy balls. It was like really, it was small. It was just like one little thing would go up and then it would land in little like plastic.
Yeah,
I remember those. Yeah.
But what was the coolest was those balls were candy. Like I said, like it just blew my mind. Like in this little machine, those are actually candy, and I don't know. I just thought that was so cool.
So you'd eat the pinballs, but then you could never play the game again.
And I couldn't play it. Right?
Yeah, well, you either gotta eat the pinballs early, so they're not bad, or like just leave them in there and you can play forever, and then you never get to eat them. I don't know, one or the other. That's how you got to do it.
I did not know there was a toy in there.
I
have to look that up.
It's cool to like put an edible thing in another box of edible stuff. That's a genius thing. You should try that next time, Nintendo.
I like when there's like little boxes of cereal inside of a big box.
For sure. Well,
I don't know if that's a thing, but it should.
Talk. So last week, since we did the top stuff and all that, we didn't get to do any news or what we bought and all that. So we can talk more about that this week. Now that we're all full from the cereal, was everybody's review of the cereal pretty much 5? Pretty much a 5 out of 10.
5.3.
5.3. How we're going with points?
It's above
here.
a 5, but it's not a 6. I will say that.
Okay, 5.9.
That's
almost a 6. Yeah, it's definitely a meh score. I guess is what I give it. I don't know. Trying to figure out what is. I don't think it's necessarily terrible, but it's not great.
Not terrible, not great, but the novelty of having the cereal is pretty cool. There is the quiz on the back of the box, which we can do real quick. It has some real
head
brain benders here.
I was trying to figure out which. Maybe this is NBA Playgrounds level of cereal. I'm trying to compare it to some Switch games that I got here of the excitement level of this. Let's see. I got some winners on here that I can pick from.
This is the sticker, the color splash.
Yeah, the color splash of cereals. That's definitely a good comparison.
Well, and that's the thing. It also goes along with it because I'm going to finish this whole box of cereal just like I finished that game.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean,
I will eat all this.
I have to.
It'll be gone within a day.
Well, I mean,
Is it going to win best cereal of the year?
This could be
but it's going to win my shit in 2 days of the.
This could be the Snake Pass of cereals. Right?
Yeah, that's what it.
Maybe Snake Pass level, where you want it to be good, but it's just kind of not.
Where it just ends up whining around.
You can't really control it that well, but you want it to be better than it is.
Let's burn through these questions real quick.
Oh shit! It's got Olympics on top too.
Which character trait describes Mario? Is he A, courageous, shy, C, mysterious, or D, naughty?
He's D naughty.
He is naughty. That is correct.
He's D naughtiest plumber I know.
He's very naughty. He loves to jump on people.
What was Mario's original name? Was it Mario, Jumpman, Wario, or Mr. Mustache?
Well, I think his name is Mr. Mustache now.
Mr. Mustache. That's correct.
Yeah.
Thought it was Tom Selleck. No, that's Mr. Baseball.
Who is Mario's brother and trusted sidekick? Is it A, Bowser, B, Toad, C, Luigi, or D, Shy Guy?
Well, the guy who's always in his shadow, the shy one.
Yeah.
Which power-up causes Mario to become invincible? Is it A, Fire Flower, B, Super Mushroom, C, Superstar, or D, Green Shell?
It is the green shell that turns him invincible.
You got it. That is correct. All right.
Or the blue
And
hat.
finally, what is the name of the kingdom that Mario is known for saving? Is it A, the Super
Jersey.
Kingdom, B, the Star Kingdom, C, the Mushroom Kingdom, or D, the Koopa Kingdom?
It's Albuquerque Kingdom.
Albuquerque, New Mexico is correct.
Yes.
Congratulations. You win a lifetime supply of Super Mario cereal.
It's as dry as
That's
Albuquerque.
what I always wanted. I want a lifetime supply of Mario games. I just get a free one every time there's a new one. Wouldn't that be great? Just send me one, Odyssey 2,
If
send it
this
over.
does well, maybe they'll make more cereal. Maybe there'll be like a Yoshi cereal with real eggs or something.
I want to eat Splatoon cereal with squids in it. It'll be great.
It turns your milk like neon colors.
But speaking of Splatoon, before I forget, there's a Splatfest this weekend. In case you guys weren't tired of that yet, there's another one. I'm gonna try to play it this weekend. I haven't played a Splatfest in a long time. So it's what is it? Action movies versus comedy movies is the new thing. So comedy versus action. We'll see who turns out on that. It's like a
Scorsese versus Jim Carrey.
yeah, because
You'll both be playing this weekend.
Because they're both directors. Right?
Jim Carrey's a director now.
Sure.
He's nothing.
He's kind of gone off the deep end. I don't know if you've seen what he said lately about how life doesn't matter and all that.
Yeah, he's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, action versus comedy. It's either pie in the face or person with a gun. Which one do you like?
Pie with a case or pie with a person with a gun.
Yeah, that's the pictures. Well, it's like a zapper. It's like an NES zapper. But according to my friends, there's more people on the action side than comedy. So normally I would go for comedy, but I really don't. I don't like comedians, so I think I'll have to go for the action side.
Oh my God.
But apologies to anybody that's comedians who listen to this. I don't like you. Just I don't dislike you. I dislike other ones. So this week for news, do you guys want to talk about what we got, or do you want to talk about news first? So we're still in the intro part, I guess. Of this.
Let's go with what we got. I got nothing.
Stuff we bought over the week. You haven't bought anything in the past 2 weeks since our last episode.
I
guess you got those pinball games that you talked about last week.
I got pinball games, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What'd you get?
Speaking of pinball games, Jereme and I played a weird Japanese table game that you can watch on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet at our YouTube /Fingmater site for the show.
Yeah, that game was so fun.
There's a video of us flipping a table, flipping like a real table for a Japanese arcade game that's at a local bar that we go to.
I watched that. I'm jealous. I've wanted to play that game.
Local barcade. I didn't really know what was going on in that game, but it was fun to flip tables on it.
Can you explain a bit behind the meaning behind that game?
I don't know, Jereme. What do you think? I mean, you probably know more about it than I did. I think you played it longer than I did.
I mean, I guess it had something to do with flipping the tea table, which is an analogy I've heard. Shigeru Miyamoto, like he does that. I guess
he did it a lot for Ocarina of Time, supposedly.
Right. So I don't know if there's more to it than that within the culture, but yeah, it's kind of an idiom, I guess. Flipping the tea table, so it's just like a whole game based off of that.
But I guess
the controller is actually a table, right? You just have to flip it up.
Well, you have to hit it.
You can
also,
smack it or hit it.
you like smack the top of it, and then you like flip it, like, and it flips. You know, like it's. But there's different scenarios that you can do. Like there's a wedding one where you like flip a wedding cake, and there's one where like you're a ghost and it's your funeral, and you're flipping your coffin at people, which is like the one that I played. So I think that's the intro one. And there's some other like competitive ones where you're kind of like flipping for distance or whatever.
What is the actual gameplay though in those scenarios?
You smack the table to try to get people to like pay attention to you, right? Or like for certain stuff to happen. And at the right time, you flip the table. And depending at what time you flip it, or like how many times you've gotten people to look at you or be on the table or whatever, you get like
They'll
a better
have
score,
like
right?
An exclamation mark will appear above their head.
Mm-hmm. So
Like
it's a timing game?
Yeah, like
kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like I would almost equate it to think about in Zelda when you use the whatever the stasis spell is, and then you hit things and it stores up the potential energy, and then when you do it, let go, it like flies. It's sort of like you're doing that by you're hitting the table and you're sort of building up like a bigger like you're going to cause more damage at the end the longer you wait and the more you smack the table, and then you flip it at the right moment when the most like attention is being paid to you or the most things are happening where you can knock crap over and try to bust the windows out in the back of the building if you can, or like knock people over, or like discover people hiding and stuff like that.
Where'd you play that game? Was it at Galloping Ghosts?
No, we played it. We played at the Logan Arcade. It's an arcade by me.
It's really close to
arcade bar.
trailers.
It's an arcade bar. We actually also got to play Nintendo related. We played Mario Kart 2, the Mario Kart 2 arcade, which I don't know if I played that one before, but it seemed a lot smoother than the first one. If you played the first one,
it did.
There's like three.
The levels seem smaller to me.
Yeah. They seemed about the same, I think. But, I mean, there's three of them. I know there's three of them in Japan, and this is the second one. And I don't think I ever played it. But I think I thought the graphics was a little smoother while we were playing it. And you can do more, the original one, you could take a picture of your face. There's, like, different things you can put around your head now. It's not just, like, a Mario hat. Now you can do, like, a pirate one, or you can do, like, what other weird shit.
There's a sumo wrestler.
Yeah. There's, like, a bunch of different... There's a bunch of different like frames you can put your head into. But yeah, we played through. I mean, it seemed a lot easier because I was playing like the Rainbow Road course and still getting first. So I don't know. Maybe they made it easier. Maybe that's why.
It was on 100cc and it was like super easy.
Yeah, we were both playing 100cc and we both did like we went through and got first every time. Twice. So I mean, like it's twice whole Grand Prix. So, but it was fun for what it was. But that's the first time I played that for Nintendo related stuff.
There's a bonus level where you have to push a watermelon, and it brought back like bad memories of Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, brought back your Super Mario Sunshine fun time. Yeah,
yeah, it was like a bonus level at the very end that it had me do, and I had like a 20 seconds to push a watermelon with my cart to the finish line.
I was gonna say, were there any Robo-Ducks in there?
No, there were no Robo-Ducks, but I was definitely thinking about Sunshine, and then of course the very end, I lost control of the watermelon.
Yeah. Since you didn't buy any games, John, what have you been playing like on your time off here for Christmas? We never really got to talk about that last week because we took a break and then we did our games of the year. You know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What have you been playing on break?
Well, what I've been playing most, somehow, despite the fact that I've only had it for about 6 weeks, I've been promoted to a veteran in Rocket League.
Oh.
So that took me by surprise. I guess I've been playing that a whole lot. There's different ranks and everything. You start out, as amateur or whatever. I got to pro, and I thought that was about it. But then I got promoted to veteran. So maybe I'm playing too much Rocket League because I think that's...
Oh, I could tell you that. Well, I don't know. I know you play it all the time. I'm sure, but if
it's too fast to go to veteran. Well,
I don't think... If it's a good game, it's not... And I played it. I get it. I suck at it. But I mean, if it's something that you can play a lot, that's not bad. I don't think they give you something like veteran to be like, man, you're a loser. You play this game too much. I don't think they mean it in that way. I think they're like, you're great. You play all the time. Veteran. So
far, I'm the only Nintendo player though I've seen as a veteran before. I mean, the game only came out like 6 weeks ago, so it's pretty fast.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are playing it a lot. The people that like it, I don't dislike it. I just don't. I'm not good at it.
Do you win a lot of the matches you play?
Yeah.
I think I've won 200 matches so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your ratio? Like how wins to losses and all that?
I haven't seen the losses, but my wins are around 200.
Okay, well that's good. If you did 300, or I don't know. don't know how many
Those
matches
you played with us didn't help you.
Yeah,
No, we lost all this.
Yeah, there's a hidden drunken video of us all playing online Rocket League, which might see the light of day, might not. I haven't decided yet. But do
you have it on your computer?
Oh yeah, of course it's on my computer. I just haven't watched it yet.
I didn't know. I couldn't remember if we recorded it or not.
No, we recorded it. We recorded it for sure. It's probably just for its own hilarity and how many times I said what did I say? Dick balls on the
dick balls
on the text thing. Yeah. How many times I said that? It might be worth putting up there. But yeah. I was too busy doing the video top 10 thing that I did to be able to look at the Rocket League thing yet. But I will at some point. I'll give it a look, see if it's worth posting or not.
Yeah, Trey did a nice. He did his own video of his top 10 that he mentioned on the last episode. Pretty good. You should take a look at it. It's on the YouTube channel. Yeah,
I was pretty proud of that video. Like, everything on there is stuff that is me playing, except for the 3DS stuff, obviously, because I couldn't figure out how to capture that stuff. But
I don't think there's really a good way other than putting a camera over it like I do with the Artie Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't do that. But there are 3 3DS games in there that are trailers, but everything else is stuff that I did on my own. So that was cool. And it was kind of stuff that I had archived, too, that I played. Like, the Doom footage is, like, from when I first got Doom, like, from my very first Doom stream and all that stuff. And, yeah.
You went down memory lane while you were making the video?
Yeah. And there was also some stuff that I was like, after I was like, man, I should have recorded some stuff, like, while I'm good at it now. Not just use the stuff, like, when I sucked. Especially for, like, Mario plus Rabbids. Because I was like, because I did some really cool stuff later. Like, I can do cool stuff now. And I was like, man, I should have, like, done that and recorded it. But whatever. I mean, I like it. I like the video. It was fun to do. I enjoyed it. But what did you get for this week, Jeremy?
Well, I bought another Ardu Boy. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but still writing for the magazine. I actually did an article, and you can check out a video I made.
You did another.
It's all 13 of the entries that were in their latest games contest they did. There's some pretty fun games on there. It's one of my favorite videos I've made just because it's like, I don't know, it's more, I scripted it out. I haven't ever scripted a video I've made before.
Oh, yeah.
So, it comes off sounding a little more like dry, I guess. It's not as natural, but it was cool to have like a skeleton to base everything off. So yeah, anyway, it's on there. But so I bought another one, so now I have 2, and it's really nice because I can have 2 games loaded up at once when I'm recording. It makes everything go by a lot quicker. But the coolest thing I bought, I would say, was Twin Snakes on the GameCube. I've been meaning to buy that game for years and years and years.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to say about that game last week, but I forgot to. I wanted to compare Mario plus Rabbids to that game, to Twin Snakes, just because. Yeah, have you played it yet, Twin Snakes, Jeremy?
Not yet. I want to. I'm trying to decide if I want to wait for my HD adapter, if I wanted to start like playing it now and recording it now.
Oh, well, once you start playing it, you'll realize with most Metal Gear games that you have a tendency to accidentally run into a cutscene where you'll like walk around and then you'll like, turn a corner and then boom, you're stuck in a cutscene for like the next 20 minutes or whatever. And what Mario plus Rabbids does really well is whenever you're trying to explore an area, there's black flags that have skulls on them. And once you pass by these flags, you're into a strategy level, So it like there's a barrier that like it does the same thing with chapters. Like when you want to go to the next chapter, there's a little like thing that says chapter 8 or whatever that you walk through. So you'll know like, and you won't accidentally get into a level while you're trying to find extra treasure chests and stuff. And I was like, man, I really wish they had that on Metal Gear, because then I could like know how much I could explore before I fell into a cutscene. Because there's some times in Twin Snakes where you don't really get to, there'll be a really long cutscene, and then you'll walk for like 2 seconds, and then you're in another one. You're like, damn it, I could have gone like left instead of right, and it wouldn't be in another cutscene. So that's why I thought about that. And then you told me that you got it, so it's cool. And,
yeah, I'm gonna watch a bunch of cutscenes, I guess.
I mean, it's a great game still, aside from the cutscenes. It's just those games by nature were always like super cutscene-y, like Metal Gear Solid 2 was.
They're cinematic, is what they would have called it at the time.
True. I mean, they basically were like, let's take Metal Gear Solid 1 and make it look better. And they add some of the stuff that you can do in 2 also. Like you can do, I know you can do pull-ups in there, which there's really not a reason to do that in this, but you can. And there's like a first-person gun mode also, and you can run and shoot at the same time, which was another thing you couldn't do in the other one.
And you can like back up to a wall and like knock on the wall.
Yeah, you can do that too. And you can also get dog tags. You can make people give you dog tags. Like, if you hold the gun to them for long enough, they'll give you dog tag. So, like, extra stuff that was added later, they added into this one, which was interesting. But it's, I liked it. It's a good game. It's one of those games that I think, it's kind of like, I guess it kind of reminds me of, like, Resident Evil, like the remake of Resident Evil. It's like one of those games that I would, like, play through multiple times, to see different stuff.
I'm happy to say, I mean, I've never played through, when it first came out, what year was that, 98 or 99?
Metal Gear Solid? Metal Gear was 98.
The original Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that was 98.
98, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend had a PlayStation. I didn't have a PlayStation. He did, and he got that game for whatever, like Christmas, or he had it, and I went to play it. And I remember him. One thing I remember is he called square box on the PlayStation controller. He called it the box button, which annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, "Are you sure it's not a square?" Which I still don't think anyone calls it box, but him.
Well, you know what's weird? It's a crazy conspiracy, right? Like, isn't there, like, there's an X, too? And it says, like, if you say it that way, then Xbox is on the PlayStation controller.
Oh.
Crazy.
Ooh.
Like, or did he call it, like, cross or something else than X?
He didn't call it cross. He called it X.
Yeah.
But he called weapons whippins.
He's a weird kid.
Whippins.
Yeah, he just said things weird.
Do you still know old whippins?
So
Do you still
You
talk
gotta
to
run
him?
over there and grab the whippin. You gotta grab those whippins.
Yeah, you guys weren't really friends, were you?
Whippins are when your dad hits you, man.
You just went over there to see him because he had games, right? You guys weren't actually friends.
No, we were friends.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine.
How's he doing
I think he
nowadays?
just-
Do you still talk to
I
him?
think he said things weird just to be a troll.
Does he still say whippins?
I haven't talked to him in a few years, but he probably does. I bet he does. But anyway, like going back to it, I just remember playing that game then, and then I haven't played it since.
Yeah.
Until now, I'm about to play it on the GameCube. So it's one of those cases where I know it's a great game, so I would think of myself thinking like I'm jealous of someone who's playing like Super Mario World for the first time. Like,
Sure.
I'm that person that someone who really loves Metal Gear Solid is jealous of because I'm playing like one of the best versions of it all the way through for the first time.
Yeah, I never played the original Metal Gear Solid, so the only version of it that I played was Twin Snakes. And then I played Metal Gear Solid 2, and then I played Metal Gear Solid 3, which is my favorite. And I played 4 also, but I never played 5. But, so...
Did you play 6 yet?
There's no 6 yet.
Oh, the newest one's 5. Okay, I thought there was one that came out right before 5, but that's not 4. There was like 2 of them.
Yeah, but the other one, I did play that one, and I beat it in like 10 minutes. Like, seriously. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I beat it by accident in 10 minutes. I forget what it's called. It has a weird name. I mean, Phantom Pain has a weird name, but yeah, the one before that, I don't know. I never played Phantom Pain. I don't know. I wasn't really that into 4 either. I thought that one was kind of a letdown, but whatever.
I have the Phantom Limb or whatever it's called. I have that on Steam. I've played a little bit of it. I haven't really played 3, but I do have it on Xbox, I think.
You can get it on 3DS. You can get it in 3D.
That's true.
There's actually a really cool thing in there, which I heard in the Metal Gear 3 game on 3DS. You know that Snake, the main character, whatever his name is, Naked Snake, or he's like the original Snake, Big Boss.
Big Boss.
Whenever he loses his he loses his eye, like spoilers, it's like a really old game. Nobody should care. Anyway, he loses his eye in the game, and he has to wear an eye patch. And once you lose your eye, you can't use the 3D function anymore on the 3DS one, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool, there's a cool little thing in there, so at least I
And
heard
they're
it.
like, this is great because we only have to have programming up until that moment.
Yeah, it's like, well, now I don't have any 3D vision, so I can't use that. Yeah, it's pretty rad. That's a badass game. I thought about getting it again for the 3DS, just see if I could find a cheap copy of it and just play through it, because I played it on PlayStation 2, but it's been a long time since I played it, but I love the fuck out of it. But I got the Subsistence, like the re-release of it was the one that I got that had all the extra, where they like
Was
made...
that on PlayStation 2?
Yeah, they like kind of like patched it, like they gave it better controls, and like you could use like dual analog and stuff like that. So I don't know how well I guess you can do that with the new 3DS. It does like use the nub as a second stick and all that. So yeah, I played the demo of it, but I thought about getting it again just to play through because I really like that game.
I remember the first time I ever heard of Metal Gear. I remember the first time I ever heard of Metal Gear Solid was actually in my history class because my history teacher was playing it, and he just like stopped class and told us all about Metal Gear Solid and how great a game it was.
What a great teacher!
Like, okay, all right.
And everybody's just like, just keep talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Talk about history.
He's like, let me tell you about history. Have you ever heard of a guy named Revolver Ocelot? He was a big historical figure. or Fat Man. God, Metal Gear Solid 2 was so dumb. So there's a guy named Fat Man in there, and there was a vampire.
That's the only one I played all the way through, but I don't really remember.
I'm sorry. That's one that I could not play all the way through. I mean, it looks cool and all, but it was such a tease. It's like, hey, Metal Gear, it looks awesome, and here's Snake, and now you don't get to be him anymore. It's like we took him away because we wanted you to want to be him. So I
do remember all the hype leading up to Metal Gear Solid 2, where you could see the stubble grow on his face over time, and
the first
crazy,
the first
level
level
would get wet out in the water and stick to his face. I don't know.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like you can shoot glasses and watch ice melt on the bar and stuff like that. But that very first level is really cool, where you're Snake and there's this big event happening and all these soldiers are lined up and they're turning from one way to another and you dodge around them and I'm like, this is really cool. And then Snake's gone after that and then you have to be riding for the rest of the game and it's like, what? Why? And then it kind of it's whatever. Some people like it. It's one of those games.
But I'm gonna play Metal Gear Solid and Twin Snakes, and it's like its own thing because it was sort of a love letter to Nintendo in a way. Because aren't there a little Kojima's a huge Nintendo fan?
Well, it was made by Silicon Knights, so there's
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, there's references to Eternal Darkness and Nintendo in there, so it's kind of like a joint thing, with. I don't think Hideo Kojima did much with it. I think that Silicon Knights did it, and they just had the rights to it. I don't know how exactly it worked, but I know they did most of it, and Nintendo helped them with it also. So it's it's a pretty hard game to get, or it's fairly rare, I think, from what I heard. So
I got a good deal on it. It's just a disc only. I got it for $29.
You got both the discs though, right?
Yeah, both discs.
I was gonna say they didn't just send you one because it's it's probably my second favorite Metal Gear out of all the Metal Gears that I played. So it's cool. The three in that one are my two favorites. Actually, the one that I really, really liked was the Game Boy. The Game Boy Color one was great too, but I lost that copy of it, which still kind of pains me to this day. It was
It's not a cheap thing to rebuy.
No, it was rare. I've got it a good deal at GameStop, but I got it 10 years ago. Oh, probably more than that, probably 15 years ago. It was in a bag that I had, and I lost that bag. I don't know where that bag ever went.
Oh,
what was the Game Boy Color one?
It was just called Metal Gear Solid, and it was just a full on Metal Gear game, but it was 2D, and it was really good. I liked it. It was
a remake of the Metal Gear Solid game.
Oh no, it's not. It's its own story. It's not a version of any of the ones that are already out. It's just another story about Solid Snake, in Outer Heaven or whatever. I forget what the guys were called in there, but it was very much
isometric, right?
Yeah, it's a top down. It's really good. It played really well. There's they had those virtual missions in there that were on Metal Gear Solid 2. You can do those too, or you can do the extra ones where you just sneak around. And it had some cool bit art cutscenes, whatever in there, and bosses, and it was a dope game. But got lost. I haven't looked into getting into it getting it again just because I was so sad that I lost it and never figured out what happened to it.
There was a Perfect Dark game for the Game Boy Color too that was supposed to be kind of good.
Well, there was a Resident Evil one too. That's kind of in the same in that same vein.
I remember the Resident Evil one in Game Pro. They gave it a perfect score. They thought it was amazing.
Yeah, wasn't it 2 or 1 or I don't remember.
It was number 1, but it was actually a 3D representation on the Game Boy of Resident Evil. So it's pretty remarkable.
It is.
I guess it's
the Game Boy's based off a processor that was invented in the 70s.
Yeah, I guess it's not that bad. You can get it for $40.
For which one?
For Metal Gear Game Boy, Metal Gear Solid. I mean, that's not super expensive. It says it's trending at $39.
Well, it's not unattainable.
I mean, if you want a complete set with a box, it's $150. That's what it is, or above, 200 or whatever. It's quite a bit of them on here.
When a used game is still less than what you would have paid for it new, so that's right about what it would have cost new, $40, right?
But I bought it for less than that when I got it. I think I got it for $10 because nobody really cared at the time or knew that it was rare. I just kind of found it at GameStop, and it was, I bought just the cartridge, and it was on sale, and I was really happy that I found it for so cheap, and then whatever, got lost in the sands of time or something. What happened to that? So
that's right. It's with your copy of Prince of Persia.
Yeah, no, I sold that. I sold that game. Traded it in. Even though the first one was okay, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully you should definitely play that game. It's good. The Twin Snakes. It's a lot of fun.
Gonna.
Yeah, do it. Is that all you got then?
What else did I buy?
What was the 5 systems that you said that you bought on last
right.
show? You never got into that.
I said something along. Did I say 5 or did I say 4, 3? I don't remember.
I thought it was at least 4.
I got the Ardu Boy. I'll count that as a system. I don't know if we count the SNES Classic as a system.
Why not? Let's keep piling them up.
But I also got a Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
I got a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I got a Game Boy Light, which is the one from Japan.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That one was cool.
Maybe that is it. Wait, no, I got a Nintendo 64. I bought my Nintendo 64 last year, I think, yeah.
Oh.
So, that's a lot of shit.
Did you buy another GameCube too, or did you already have one?
I already had one.
Oh.
But I did buy the Game Boy player.
Yeah, and the HDMI cable, which is pretty much a system in itself.
Which I still haven't gotten, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully I get it, and hopefully it works.
Hopefully it doesn't fry your GameCube.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't fry my GameCube, you know.
Well, supposedly you get past that. But if it does, you can like, you know, record yourself crying about it and get some hits like that one guy does.
The guy's been sending weekly updates since I first ordered it, and this is the first time he didn't send a weekly update. He sent one usually either the day before or the day after Christmas, and he sent one right around New Year's, so I know it wasn't a holiday thing. He hasn't sent an update this week. You know, I'm a little worried about it.
Oh, well. Maybe he'll send you
one. That means he sent it.
Yeah, maybe he's done.
Well, he's not sending it. It's like China. He had some place in China make it. You know how it goes.
Sure.
You come up with the design and then like the components, and then you contact different manufacturers, and they make an order for you. Blah blah blah, all this crap. Anyway, though, that's what I did. Oh, you're just drinking a whole gallon of milk there. Okay. Cool.
This episode's sponsored by milk. Yeah. So do you guys want to take a break and then we'll get into like news and stuff?
Let's do it.
Our intro's gotten pretty long. All right, cool. We'll be right back. We're recording this Wednesday night, the 10th. Are we going to have a direct tomorrow?
I don't know.
We're not going to.
It's been 10 minutes since I last checked. Let's check.
We're not going to have a direct tomorrow. I'm going to say it right now, and if for some reason there's a direct tomorrow, we'll record another thing, I'm sure. But I'm saying it right now, there's no direct tomorrow. I hope that I seriously, with all the frenzy that like people, like how much people have been going crazy about this, I hope that Nintendo waits till March to do like a year in review thing for the Switch or something, just to be total dicks and be like, hey, fuck you. But when did this stuff start? Like, didn't it start with that? I know there was that Amazon thing that happened where there were some games that like dropped on there and then they were removed. You guys saw that, right? Like, but I don't think it was anything that wasn't already on there. And everybody's talking about like this, you know, Grand Theft Auto being on there, which, you know, that makes sense if Rockstar wants to make money. But it's kind of weird that everybody, like, where did the whole rumor originate from that it was going to be on the 11th? Is that from like Nintendo of Russia, like that random whatever Russian hacker that said that? Like,
I think that was later. I think that came later.
Yeah,
I don't even know where it all started, though.
Yeah, all of this reminds me of like the craziness of the Switch before they didn't know what the Switch was. And everybody would just like grab a random date from the past that Nintendo said stuff, and then they expected them to do it again. And I'm like, and then it doesn't happen, and they're like, why didn't it happen? It's like because you never based your thoughts on anything real. It was just it's like almost as ridiculous as that. Or like when like they actually announced the date for the Switch, and people said that it was delayed. Like it was like it had a date before, and like and it never did. You know, like. I don't know. It reminds me of all that ridiculousness.
Right, I remember last
drove
year.
Me insane.
It was January 12th last year is when the direct happened with all the hardware and games. Like when we finally got to see the Switch.
But
that makes sense that people think it's going to be on like around the same day this January.
Well, I think they just think that we'll have a direct in January, in the beginning of the year. And the last direct we had was the Xenoblade direct in December, right? Or was Pocket Camp after that? No, I think the Pocket Camp direct was before that, right? Was before the Xenoblade direct. Yeah, so the last one we got was the Xenoblade 2 direct. And I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if they did another direct, of course. I'm really hoping that I hope that if they do a direct, they need something to help me let me do something with the Switch like operating system. I want to like categorize my games and stuff like that, you know. Be nice to have some sort of grouping folder thing or whatever.
Yeah, I think so too. I've already got enough games on the Switch that I wish I could list them differently, and you have way more than I do.
Yeah, I wish I could
3 or 4 times as many games as I do.
I wish I could at least put like SNK games in a file or something. I don't know. Be nice to be able to categorize them better instead of just like whichever one you play goes to the top. And of course, you know, people want more apps and stuff like that, like Netflix and whatever else, Crunchyroll, whatever other streaming services they want to put on there.
I hear a lot of people talking about the streaming services and like, oh, you know, doesn't have Netflix or Hulu yet. Like, I'm like, I don't care. Does anybody really care?
You know, Hulu's on there.
It's got 3 other screens that can play Netflix and Hulu.
The only thing that I sort of like, I wanted Netflix just because of the clip I have for it. You know,
for the Try One,
right? Because I can use it with my phone, but the Switch screen's bigger than my phone, so it would be nice to be able to like watch Netflix in bed. I'm not gonna lie, but I also have a TV in my bedroom, and all I have to do is like watch Netflix.
You just got to
turn. I just have to turn my head to the left 90 degrees.
Well, the only reason that
that's
makes any sense to even put those apps on the Switch is just that it's a reason to not turn to your Xbox or your PS4.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you're already playing the Switch. Just check over on Netflix or whatever. But
otherwise. It's good to put it, and it's good to have it on everything eventually. You know, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't really care because I don't watch.
I just want an eBay app on it.
Yeah,
I want to be able to get on eBay on my Switch and buy another Switch,
and buy another Switch, and buy more, and buy some Switch cartridges or other cartridges.
Buy a bunch of Mario cereal
from eBay for $500 or how much it's going
for.
While
playing Odyssey, be like, hold on a second, I gotta like pause the game, and buy some cereal. All right, I'm back.
Yeah,
I would never have to put down my Switch.
You can update your Twitter and stuff. Well, you can do that already, but not really. Well, you have to put pictures of whatever you took a picture of.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's my life.
Yeah.
At that moment, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah. I mean, I guess they would have to say like, I know that that was a real announcement that they said that they had all these third parties behind them, right?
To put like, you're playing a game and like you just post the picture and then underneath it you're like, my mom's really sick, or like, you know, like something you would say like that's not happy, but you just did it because you had to put the picture in order to tweet at that moment.
Oh yeah,
time.
like you
it came to you, so it's like a picture of Mario as a T-Rex. Like saying Grandma's not gonna make it.
Like you take a picture of Mario like with a moon, like all super happy, and you're like, my uncle died today, or something like that. You know, it's like, has nothing to do with Mario whatsoever. It's like hashtag sad or something.
You were playing Mario. So
it's just like
what you see.
Hashtag Super Mario Odyssey. Korea just bombed someplace. Picture of Mario. Something like that. Some sad thing. I wish that our president's like tweets had pictures of Switch games on there. It'd make them easier to read. If it's like just a picture of Mario getting moon, and it's like I'm a staple genius. It's like, yeah, well, you got that. You got that moon.
Just
that one was hard.
Clips and like just a bunch of weird like shapes. All this tweet.
Mass media, blah blah blah. Snipper clips.
Fake news. It has a picture of the guy with the arrow in his knee from Doom. It's actually in Doom. I found it. So what were your thoughts on that you were going to say on the fake direct, John? You said you had some ideas.
We were wondering about why there's such a fever pitch here around this supposed direct. And so my thought is Nintendo just came off their hottest year ever, right? And we know nothing about 2018, practically nothing.
Well, the Switch is pretty much the best, like, fastest selling system of all time right now, right?
Fastest selling system of all time, right? And last year, I mean, in any other console cycle, I mean, we'd be left wondering about either a Mario or a Zelda by this point.
Yeah.
And
They're
we're not
already
wondering
on there.
about any of those because
Yeah.
they already came out.
Yeah.
So that's why I think people are so excited for more information, because it's just like, dude, what else could you possibly have? You know, we want to hear more about Metroid Prime 4.
Of course.
Which was announced. People are psyched for that.
People want to hear more about Pokemon Switch. You know, it's probably too early for that, but people want to hear that.
The first console Pokemon, like, people want to hear about that.
Yeah.
And certainly the online service. That's the thing I'm most excited about hearing. I want to hear their plans for the online service, what it's going to be like, what's it going to look like. Yeah, I want to know.
Well, there was actual news about them delaying that, right? Like, I remember reading that not that long ago. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Delayed. It was delayed till 2018, according to Nintendo Italy. I love like all these different Nintendos from all over the world saying different things. Like Nintendo Russia being like direct soon or something, or whatever they said.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo Italy says that it'll be delayed until fall of this year. So yeah, I don't know what's going. Like as of right now, their internet service is like really nothing worth paying for at all, because all it is an app that no one uses. So I think Nintendo really need, if they want to do an online service that is worth paying for, they really need to find a way to get people other than them to use it, is really what I want. Like, can we find a way to get like voice chat on Doom and like voice chat on like Rocket League and like all these other games that aren't Nintendo games? That's really what I think they need to do to make this online service being a real thing, you know, is to, because, you know, Nintendo, they've always done like they'll make something and expect everyone to use it, but normally they don't. You know, like We Speak. Like, who used that? You know?
I was just going to mention We Speak. I think I remember having like maybe 2 conversations on there with you, and that was it.
Yep, I got mine with Endless Ocean, which was a fun game. Endless Ocean 2 was one that I got. I did like that game.
I got mine with Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But I couldn't bring myself to buy Animal Crossing again because it was, you know, I was kind of burnt out on it at that time. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, maybe they use it for the Call of Duty on Wii? I don't know. I know that the Call of Duty Black Ops on Wii U had voice chat, but for that you can just plug it into the boat and just talk through that, like through an iPhone headset or whatever. So I don't know. What else? I mean, what else could they really announce aside from that? I guess there's the inevitable Virtual Console that everybody's like waiting for. They want to know what's going on with that. You know, of course,
GameCube on Virtual Console.
The GameCube Virtual Console, which I still don't really think is a possibility for a lot of games because of the controller difference, which people forget. You know, people forget about the analog. That's not, unless they, you know, came up with some new Joy-Cons that you can attach to your Switch to make it work. But I mean,
then there was the GameCube support native to Switch, which was removed from the update. Remember that?
But I thought that was back. I thought people said they'd been using it. I
don't know,
because I thought people said that they were using their GameCube controllers for Brawl Out. Thought I read somewhere that I'd saw that. I don't know. But yeah, no, that was toyed for a minute, in which people thought, yeah, there's always like the question of Smash Brothers. Speaking of Brawl Out, like people are thinking about that. Also,
it's been a couple years since Smash Brothers. Yeah.
I'm still my prediction from our last episode, Mario Kart 9. That's what I'm still waiting for. I mean, I understand 8 Deluxe was released like last year, but that game's still like not a new game by any chance. I mean, it is an older game that was re-released. I'd like to see a new Mario Kart. It would be cool to see some of the 3DS games get ported to Switch that were out. Like maybe if like, you know, Metroid would make it over there, or Ever Oasis and Mario Party, or like any of those games. Would be cool.
We got to mention that Nintendo today tweeted an image of Chibi Robo.
Yep.
Like, I've been waiting for a long time for
fire.
a Chibi Robo game.
Yeah. Well,
not Whip Ziplash or whatever.
Did you play? Did you play anything? Like the only one I played was the GameCube one. I never played any
that
other
I played.
ones. Yeah.
I know there was a DS one, which people said was not that great.
Yeah,
I actually
that was
saw it out
like
in the wild one time. I regret not buying it.
Wasn't it like a Walmart exclusive too? I thought it was rare, like. I thought it was only sold at one.
It was only at Walmart.
Yeah. So I never found it because I didn't go. Like I didn't have Walmart around, or I didn't go, or didn't see it. But I never found. I
saw it at GameStop one time. It was on sale for $12, and I wish I would have bought it.
Yeah,
but I didn't. Yep. But I loved the GameCube one. The GameCube one was like a secret Zelda. It was a Zelda game.
Well,
but it was
there's no dungeons.
Reskinned with what that?
There's no dungeons though.
No dungeons, but I mean it's like a action.
No, I never. I never thought of it like a Zelda. I thought it was just a really weird, quirky Japanese game, which I like. So I was fine with it, but it was just a really strange game. I mean, you don't get to you don't get to cook hamburgers on Zelda, like on the,
Well,
on,
it was
on
like
the
you had to
stove and
go
stuff like that.
and you find these characters that have these problems, and you have to help them out, and you have to go over here and get the thing and bring the thing back over here, and that kind of thing.
But I don't remember there being a whole lot of fighting in it, like Zelda. Like I know you get power ups to charge, like to get more charge power because you have to like plug in and like charge your robot and all that. And aren't there like day-night cycles too? Like don't you have to like go to bed and like it starts a different day and all that?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I played that game. I'll have to do a retro replay of it at some point.
I loved that game. I was like all about it when I beat the game.
When did you play that game?
I played it late. I played it like 2011.
Okay. Because I remember getting it like when we were in college and like super being all about it. I actually did a review of it on Negative World back when I was doing that. That was like the only review I did was a review of Chibi Robo, which if I can find it, I'll insert it here.
Are you getting tired of playing games like Call of Honor 3, Kill All the Non-Americans, or Clone Theft Auto, Streets of Delaware? Well, there's a cure for you. People who still think video games can be an art form and involve deep thinking. And this game is Chibi Robo. It's a new game that came out it's an exclusive game for GameCube, a new funked out, very Japanese title from Skip for the Nintendo GameCube. The basic story in Chibi Robo is he's a robot given to the daughter of a family named Jenny at the very start of the game. The adventure involves nectar-craving teddy bears, odd love hookups between a mummy and a princess, and a space ranger and a dog chewing toy. And there are also, of course, the Free Rangers, a group of army men who are eggs, trying to hunt down the dog who stole one of their members. Some people are a little afraid of this game because they think it either looks a little too weird or a little too cute. And the thing is, it's a mixture of both. Like, all the characters are amazing. The story is absolutely great. Most of it's very strange. Like I said, the dad of the family pretends to be a kid the whole time. He's into the Space Ranger toy, and the daughter dresses up like a frog and only speaks in ribbits throughout the entire game. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. And like I said, for anybody who's sick and tired of these games, it might as well be called "Do You Like to Shoot Stuff?" Because I sure do. Look to Chibi Robo, and I give it overall a 9 out of 10.
Wasn't that a crazy review? But
I can't believe you didn't mention that one thing though.
Yeah, I like how much I make fun of Call of Duty in there though, which I do a lot in that review, which I do remember. Well, I say Call of Honor and Medal of Duty, but I meant. I was trying not to use the actual names, but I was basically meaning like generic war game number 10. It was great that it wasn't like that because at that time, that's all there was a whole lot of generic World War II games, which they brought back because they thought anybody really missed that. But
I'm hoping they have a new Chibi Robo game because of that tweet.
Well,
or maybe the other thing I thought was maybe it was a vague reference to there being a GameCube on the Virtual Console, and they put out Chibi Robo on that.
That's just a weird.
I don't know. Yeah,
it'd be a weird game for them to come back to because I didn't feel like they ever really did much with that game. I don't know. And they also renewed the license for 1080, right? But I don't think
they renewed the license for 1080. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which some people were saying this could be a either a new one or again a GameCube Virtual Console.
Yeah. There's also a really weird tweet about with that bird from Super Mario Odyssey talking about the secret you're seeking. Does that mean something? I don't even know.
He wasn't in the was he in that level that they show him on?
Mario Odyssey? I thought he was in New Donk City.
Yeah, he wasn't in you can't actually see him in New Donk City though. Right?
No, don't you talk to him? Isn't he like the way
he's by the jump rope?
Yeah, I was going to say he's the way that you get all the jump rope jumps. Right?
Really?
Wasn't he the glitch? You had to throw the hat at him or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he's in there.
There's also a tweet today with an image of a Tamagotchi Life character in a hot dog suit. Any guesses as to what that means?
Hot dog suits for Mitomo. That's what that means. You can get them for the two people who still play that game.
The hot news is being dropped tonight.
I think they're just fucking with people. I'm telling you, they're just going to not do it until March. and just be like, "This is our year of the Switch. What's up? We got tons of money now. This prints money. What up? We ain't gotta do shit for you now."
They gave us so much great stuff that it is kind of annoying that people are like demanding to know a lot more.
More.
Yeah.
Like, come on, a lot of you just got your console within the past month or two.
Well, they did. I mean, Nintendo did promise this whole like big game a month thing. So I think people are kind of being like, well, what do we got for January? What's a January game here? Because they did kind of like plan it out, or there's kind of like do this like rollout of stuff. And now that they have a bunch of other people jumped onto it, it's like, what's next? Maybe somehow people made it through the 100 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and they want more. They're just addicts, is what they are. Never have enough. But in the meantime, you can play Hyperkin's Game Boy while you're waiting. I was trying to fit that in there somewhere. There's also, aside from the fake direct, wasn't there a Hyperkin Game Boy announced? I wanted to talk about that when we were talking about the Metal Gear Solid earlier, but I couldn't fit it in there.
So Hyperkin at CES debuted their they call it the Ultra Game Boy, and what it is, it's a new Game Boy made all from aluminum and has a rechargeable battery, and you put your old Game Boy games in it.
Does it play? It doesn't play Game Boy Advance though, right?
No Game Boy Advance, just Game Boy.
Game Boy Color?
I don't know. Let's see.
Or is it just one? I want to know what is it? Is it only just like? I wonder if they're just trying to be like, and can you even do that? Like, can you like make a Game Boy if you're not Nintendo? Like, could Nintendo be like, hey, you can't do that? I mean, they're pretty much making a system. They're pretty much making a Game Boy
they're making
system
a system.
Here. And I didn't think they were allowed to do that because of like intellectual property and all that.
I mean, they've made like the Retron and whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
All those systems things.
True.
But they didn't call it the NES.
Yeah.
Or
they're
calling this one the Ultra Game Boy apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think that Nintendo would own that term. Would like have the copyright to Game Boy.
Right.
But I don't know. It's interesting though. But it's
so it doesn't. They don't know for sure if it's going to play Game Boy Color games, but the screen can display color. It says.
Oh, okay. It uses the same charger as the Switch though, so that's cool. It uses the USB-C port. Yeah.
And I already want one, just because it's another hand.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're trying to jump on, like we talked before, like the Super Nintendo Classic, and like what about a 64 Classic, or what about a Game Boy Classic? Maybe they're trying to jump on that. But then I guess, it doesn't have games on it. You have to actually have games.
How are they able to do it? I mean, I guess it's just like a clone. It's just another clone system.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm interested in it. Wait, is it going to be like $200 or something crazy like that?
It says it's supposed to be under $100. Oh,
okay.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, because I was wondering, well, like, there's the HD, there's like that HD Super Nintendo that's like $300. It's pretty expensive. What is this?
But I don't want it.
What is the new Scribblenauts game? Is that a real thing?
New Scribblenauts game.
Well, I guess I mean there was a new Scribblenauts game for Wii U, so that's not really that surprising. It's just been I mean the DC Scribblenauts game was on there, and I think there was another one. So it is not a completely surprising piece of news there.
Maybe this one would make use of the touch screen. So we were commenting when we were on break about why does the Switch have a touch screen, and nothing really uses it.
Well, that was something from our predictions of 2 years ago, from our 2016 predictions at the end of 2016, was whether the Switch would have a touchscreen or not, and I said that it wouldn't, just because. Well,
you theorized that it possibly wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just because it's just because of the nature of it, And the weird thing about the Switch is like they can't really do a game that's all touchscreen, because then you can't play it on the TV. That's kind of what they limited themselves.
There was one game I remember early on in the Switch, but it was a port, but it was all touchscreen.
Yeah, well, there's like cell phone games on there, like Voez and stuff like that. But
yeah, Voez, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, those aren't like first-party titles. Like I don't see Nintendo making a thing that you can only play in handheld mode or only play in whatever mode. That doesn't seem like something they would do. That's why I find it weird. But I don't know. What would you? I mean, is there anything that we've missed that you guys would want to see? Like if there was a magical direct tomorrow somehow? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you want to see, but
I mean,
the biggest thing is that online service.
Yeah.
I just want to see the online service.
I just want to see a crazy new game that we've never heard of that's available on the time of the direct. That's what I always like, where it's like, and this is out now, go get it. I could see them doing that if they did do any sorts of virtual console thing like they did for the Wii U. They're like, oh yeah, we got 64 games, and here's like 3 of them, and they're half off, like get them now. Or did they do that with the Wii one? I think they did that with Mario Galaxy or whatever. So I don't know. It's
game wise. I think I'd want to see an announcement of Mario DLC, where it's Super Luigi Odyssey, all Luigi all the time. And I want to see Luigi burst out of that stupid star in the courtyard.
Yeah, El Israel 2000, whatever that it never was.
Because when I beat that game and there was no Luigi, and I was disappointed, and then I found that secret room in there with the star, I thought, this is it. He's going to burst out of the star. Why would they include this? The El Israel star. Why would they include this in the game? They wouldn't include the game in the game and then not have Luigi in it, right?
Yeah.
And then they did.
But it really has nothing to do with Luigi, and it doesn't really say El Israel. But a lot of us thought that it did because of the way it looked.
And they know that.
I was going to say...
They know that nowadays, so...
It didn't really say El Israel?
No.
I forget what it really said.
I watched the whole video on it, on what it actually says. Because the same insignia is in Ocarina of Time, in the level where you throw the bomb into the guy's mouth, in Dodongo's level. Mm-hmm. It's in there. Right. It's in there also. The same thing, but it's not El Israel. Like I watched a whole video of it on YouTube. Look it up. You can look it up after you're done listening to this. You can figure out what it is.
I watched a video of a guy who ran around the star 2,041 times.
Oh God, I hope you didn't watch all of those 2,000 times. I would have sped up a lot.
Yeah, he sped it up.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What happened?
He ran around the star 2,041 times.
He went insane and shot himself, is what happened.
Right.
Like, no Luigi, there's no reason to live. That's what he said. Jeez. One thing I forgot to say last week when I was talking about my top 10 games and I mentioned Mario plus Rabbids, I'm going to mention it again. I mentioned earlier about Twilight Princess, but there's two things that Mario plus Rabbids has that Odyssey doesn't have, which makes it awesome. Number one, John, do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Luigi's in it. That's the number one thing.
Luigi's in it. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Luigi's a playable character in it. And number two, the thing that I had a problem with Odyssey, there's ghosts in it. There's a big ghost area. There's a boo area, which Mario Odyssey doesn't have that either. So those were my 2 big points about
where the fuck were the boos?
Why that game was great.
About that. There's no booze in Mario Odyssey.
The only one I saw, and I put a picture of it on my Twitter, was the
earrings. Yeah.
Boo at one point. That's the only boo you see.
Yeah, that's the only boo you saw in there. But yeah, no, I would really love to see Mario Odyssey DLC with Luigi on there, or like what about some more Yoshi stuff? Like he's in there, you can play him in more stuff. And it would be really cool if we could get a fucking ghost house level, or like a ghost house area, whatever. You could easily do that, because Odyssey can just fly to another place, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd hope for that. But in the meantime, we're just going to be waiting and playing all these hundreds of games that are on the Switch. Which, speaking of which, I didn't even get to do it in our intro, but there's a bunch of games on sale now. Like we talked about the Thimbleweed Park and all that. That's $15 now. That's the one that we all talked about getting possibly, because it's sort of like Oxenfree, like what you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's made by the guy who did Pirates games, right?
Sid Meier?
No, it's not Sid Meier. Never mind. That's
like Sid Meier's. Well, there's a couple different pirate games. The Escapists 2 is out already. It just came out.
No, Monkey Island. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the guy who did Monkey Island, I'm pretty sure. Ron Gilbert.
Is that his name?
Oh, yeah. I've heard of him. Yep.
The Super Meat Boy, is the regular Super Meat Boy comes out tomorrow? It's not the runner, right? Yeah, I think the regular...
Super Meat Boy Forever?
No. The regular Super Meat Boy comes out tomorrow on Switch. There's also a game called Fury, F-U-R-I, which world-famous YouTuber Video Game Donkey had on his top 10 list, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stream it tomorrow. So
I mean, he doesn't really talk about it, does he? He just says it's on there, and then he doesn't even
No, he talked about that one. He said
he did. One of his games, I remember, he just says it, and then he just keeps moving on.
Yeah, some of them he doesn't say anything. So the game's on sale. There's like a lot of... Oxenfree's still on sale. That's on until the 15th. I'm not going to go through all of them. Stick it to the man. Just look at stuff that... Like Severed, Gunvolt, still on sale. It's just a lot of indies. Like Thumper is on sale. I know Jeremy said he might get that if it was on sale. It's on sale now. If you want to play a brutally hard... If you want to play a rhythm game that's actually... You can actually lose at, you can play that one. As opposed...
there's plenty of games I can lose at.
No, I was saying as opposed to the other rhythm game that you got, Floor Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Which I kind of... I don't really fully love yet because it kind of reminds me of Wii Music in that regard, where you could probably have a cat play it and still win, since there's no real rhyme or reason to it, because I don't think you can actually get a game over. I mean, you can fall down, but... I
see the comparison to Tony Hawk, but it doesn't have that same... Like at Tony Hawk, you were in a physical space doing things, instead of just statically on a floor.
Yeah. It's it's kind of like there's not. I mean, it doesn't like you can't fail out of songs, but I kind of wish that you could, like, just to like give you a reason to why you should do one move and not the other. You know, it's kind of one of my big problems with that game. But is there anything else you guys want to say about the direct or news or whatever? I haven't really. It's been kind of super freeform here. I mean, our first 20 minutes was us eating cereal, so I hope this is our highest. I hope this is our most downloaded episode. You know, first half hour is just chewing.
I guess I was going to point out some stuff that we talked about in our 2016 direct, or our 2016 best of episode that you mentioned.
Just prediction. Sure, let's go for it.
So we were both incredulous that it wouldn't be a dual screen thing, that the Switch would not be dual screen. Like, we still thought, so we were still holding on to that Nintendo was going to make it 2 screens somehow.
Oh, did we? It's not. No, we didn't think that it would be. Yeah, because it's definitely, they went to single screen, went back to single screen. Crazy.
I guess I wrote this down, and it's not what I said in my wild prediction last episode, but I had said that I thought we were going to see the successor to the 3DS this year, or at least like see about it. But here I have written down, I think there's going to be a new kind of dock that the Switch and whatever they like interface with each other through this dock.
Like a new controller to where you can have a touchscreen and it can be on the TV at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be like the mini Switch, so to speak, but it won't be as powerful, but it will be able to function as your like second screen.
Well, you remember all those old rumors about the Switch before it was called the Switch, where like you saw like patents about like stuff that like where they were next to each other, it would like power it, and it doesn't have to be touching. Like, there's always those that people were talking about that it could end up using. I don't know. I think that's what the Nintendo Direct is really going to be about. It's going to be about the 4DS. It's going to be like no Switch games. It's just going to be like, these are all the new games for this new system that we made that has 10 screens. It's awesome. Like, it's a giant ball. You put it on your head. You see nothing but screens. You're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. It's a touch screen you can touch with your eyelids. Great. It's the best system of all time. And it's going back to discs, going back to CDs on that. You know, it's going to have great loading time, and it's going to be the best system you've ever seen. You'll love it.
I like how we also said, like, we were making jokes about the third pillar.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because the Switch wasn't out yet, but we were making jokes about the third pillar that was going to be the 3DS. There's going to be the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Switch were all going to coexist.
Oh, well, that's because they said that, because they always say that. They said they weren't abandoning the Wii U.
And the Wii U got, like, axed.
And then they've abandoned the Wii U. Well, I mean, you can, I'm still playing Zelda on Wii U, so it's the DLC was totally on there for both of them, so that's when I said earlier at the very top of the show that I'm still looking for that motorcycle. That's where I'm looking for the motorcycles on the Wii U version, so I'm still rocking that Wii U. Keeping it going. We were
joking about, because Karen hadn't come forward yet, like no one knew who Karen was.
Yeah.
And so we were saying like she was going to show up and she's going to have a game called Karen's Rooftop Party. I think you said that.
Yeah, Karen's Rooftop Party. I'm still waiting for that game. It's going to be a good one.
Well, it turns out we know Karen now. That's something that changed in the past year. We know her real name, and I actually follow her on Instagram. I think you do too, Trey.
Yeah, I probably do. I mean, I think.
Did you say that she liked something of yours?
Yeah, I've had her
liked
like
a couple things.
Of my Instagram posts, and like just today, she posted a picture of herself on a plane with the Switch, and I said something like, "That's a lot higher up than a roof." And she said something stupid like that. And she liked it. But her name's Sandra.
Yeah,
that's what we know now. Her name's not Karen.
Oh, well, so
we didn't know this a year ago.
So Sandra's Rooftop Party. That's what they're changing it to. It should still be called Karen's Rooftop Party.
They had to go back to the drawing board because now it can't be called Karen's, so they have to reprogram the whole thing.
And it's one of those games like where you never actually get to the rooftop party. It's like kind of like Mario, where like you keep looking for the rooftop, and when you think you're almost there, it's like not the right rooftop, and then you like go to a different building, try to find another rooftop, and that's the whole game.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a good game.
Last year we talked about Pokemon Go a lot. Or I guess
I think we talked about Pokemon Go for like 2 episodes.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, that's Nintendo. That's something that Nintendo could not do last year, was win me over through their mobile apps, because I still hate playing games on my phone, and I don't. I actually kind of hate my phone in general, so I just try to, when I have free time, I'd rather just play Switch stuff or 3DS stuff than stuff on my phone.
I'm guessing we'll probably hear about that Zelda phone game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are like, okay, Zelda's over. We got the DLC all out. But no, here's the Zelda game coming up on your phone.
I hope
we're going to hear about that.
I hope that's a re-release of the of Tingle's like puzzle game that didn't come out here. I want to that should
It's
be
Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land.
Yeah, that one. Or Tetra. You remember?
What you've all been waiting for.
Yeah. Or the game starring the pirate that became Zelda. There's like Tetra's Block Challenge or whatever. It should be those games. That's what we should play.
I forgot about Rosy Rupee Land. I always wanted to play that.
Yeah,
it actually looked cool.
Well, now
there was two of the Tingle games, right?
Now
there was that one.
It comes
what
out
was the other one?
I don't know. It should be whatever you played on the Game Boy when you played Wind Waker, where you could sort of play as Tingle as the second player on the Game Boy. I think
it'd be funny if when you're using the Sheikah Slate in Breath of the Wild and like a pop up appears on the screen that says "Meet local Tingles."
Yeah, just random ads.
Meet local Tingles.
Tea date. Tingle date.
That's it. I'm giving up on my quest. I'm gonna go meet a local.
Yeah, there's like 10 of them now. You find one you like, maybe. They're all the colors, all the different colors. I know you wanted to talk about our show as a whole last year. We haven't really reflected on the NintenDomain of 2017.
And how far we've come.
We progressed as a show. We have we've had guests. We had guests that weren't just friends of ours that we reached out to, and we gained a third person too on here.
We did. It's like
here,
mitosis / meiosis or whatever.
Yeah, now we have 3 people instead of 2 people, so that's cool. And hopefully, I'm hoping that when we get, that this year at Retro, I'd like to actually get some interviews. That's going to be my goal, to get some interviews.
Get some interviews out in the field.
No, just see if we can get some people to just do interviews, like the guys who make like new NES games and stuff like that. I mean,
gotcha.
They could use the publicity, I'm sure. But yeah. That's the to the future and all that. And we also, another thing I forgot to mention that I just didn't have time to mention was, I don't think we hardly did any YouTube stuff in 2016 and in 2017.
No, all we had was the
became
Couch
YouTube
edition, as far as I remember.
Yeah, all we did was this Couch Edition stuff. But 2017 became my big YouTube thing. Like once it's like whenever I started getting the extra, my office room and all that, was able to do all the streaming stuff and all that. So that's pretty cool. Like we've actually gotten more. We have people that probably don't ever listen to the podcast at all, that just know me from like my Romancing Saga playthrough, or like Mom Hid My Game, or the Golf Story soundtrack, or something like that. The ones that I get comments from random people that I don't know whether they listen to the show or not, So that's cool. So
we've been to some conventions. I met, I bought the Artie Boy, and whoever would have thought that I would have ended up like writing about it. That's a thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a great purchase there.
And also been about that's translated into the YouTube thing. Like a year ago, I never knew that I would be making YouTube videos about this new console that I had not even played yet.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. But yeah, we've been doing the video thing. Our episode 100 was our first live episode. We've done a live episode this year.
We'll do more of those, I'm sure. And we'll have, we
ate cereal.
We ate some cereal on camera.
Well, that was this year. That's 2018. That'll be reflecting in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. It was in 2018.
But yeah, 2018 will be a good year, This is our reflection aside from the list and all the other stuff. But
there's really, there's not a lot to talk about. Like back in the old day, we would have probably had like some retro games our subject for the episode. But
yeah, well,
there was a lot to talk about.
There wasn't a whole lot of time to do research for it. But we'll do more of those in the future. Of course, I do like doing those retro episodes whenever we can. Like we did do Wonderful 101 could even be considered a retro episode. It's not a new game by any chance. And we just did that a couple of episodes ago. So we're still rocking that shit.
That's true.
For real. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want or don't want to talk about? Or I think we can call it episode 103. Another masterpiece, I think, of the NintenDomain episodes in the 100 range.
I think so. I think this is going to go down in our annals.
Don't talk about your annals on here. I don't know.
Hey, we did just eat that cereal. It's all going to come out of our annals.
It's all going to be like a hot snake.
Well, after that cereal, I mean, for sure. That's what we're all doing after this episode. It's all coming out. You're going to find the real treasure. Find the real treasure of the cereal. Anyway,
if it makes our like vowels a weird color or something, we definitely need to update.
Oh God! You can tweet that. Tweet at Nintendo or tweet at Karen for that and see if she replies to that one. Even though she has nothing to do with the cereal. Just be like, tell me, what do you think? Does it really look like
Damn it, Karen, why am I shooting red?
I mean, do you see Mario Odyssey in there? Because I do. Anyway, this has been episode 103. And, you can find us at NintenDomainPodcast.com. We are on YouTube as youtube.com/Fingmater. If you just do a search for Nintendo Made Podcast, you're going to find us. We're all over the place. Nintendo_domain is the Twitter where I post all the episodes when we release them and all that fun stuff. And, if there's not a direct tomorrow, this is us saying we'll see you next week. And, thanks for listening and all that. So, I was totally wrong. Just like how I said last night that I figured that I wouldn't be wrong. Out of nowhere, it must have... Do you know when, this posted? Because I went to sleep at, 6:30, and it was up at, 9. So, they must have put it up, at 8 in the morning or something. And I checked Twitter before I went to sleep, so...
I didn't see when it posted, no.
Yeah. Well, I woke up, Jess was like, oh, there's a direct. And I'm like, oh, God, really? Damn it. So, I
woke up and checked my phone, and first thing I saw was your message.
Yeah,
damn it, there was a dumb direct.
Yep. Well, I was
you were joking.
I was kind of half asleep, and but I couldn't get back to bed, so I couldn't get back to sleep. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch the direct. So I watched the direct at 9 in the morning, and I was kind of out of it, but it ended up being kind of disappointing on my end, I guess, because. All the stuff that we just recorded last night, now we're recording again after the direct, and all the stuff that we predicted, of course, wasn't on there. There's no Switch operating system update. There's no virtual console. Of course, it was never gonna be. But there's we'll go down the list and talk about what's on there. But for the most part, it kind of looked like Nintendo playing the port game too. Where they're like, we'll bring you games that are old or you don't want to play again.
Mostly ports, yeah. I don't know. I think if anyone's disappointed, we have only ourselves to blame.
For hyping everything.
They never said there was going to be a direct, and been speculating for a month.
Yeah.
Even more for some people.
It's just a dumb,
they just, it was a direct mini even. Insult to injury. It wasn't even a full one.
It was a 15-minute direct right. Mini. Yeah, right. And it's, yeah, exactly. It's what did you really expect? I hope that there will be a full direct later, that'll talk about the internet and all that stuff. Like how
everyone on NBC says that there's usually a full direct within a month after the mini directs. It's usually Nintendo's pattern.
Those guys say a lot of things, but we'll see.
I know they do. They're right about this one.
Yeah, they were totally right about that one, which kind of annoys me, but whatever. It's it did happen, so. For better or for worse. But, do you want to just, jump into it and start talking about all the stuff that happened here?
Sure.
All right, I'm just going to go down the line. Let's say, how about we say, whether we're interested or not in it. Just say yes or no on your part. Cool. If you're planning on getting it or if you don't care, we'll say that. So, first off the list was a re-release of The World Ends With You, a game that came out on DS. That was a DS game. 10 years ago. I have that game.
10 years ago.
I have that game. I never played it all the way through, but I did play it quite a bit. Had a really good soundtrack. It takes place in Shibuya, and you get to fight Social Distortion and all that stuff. Not the band. That's what they call the demons that are in that game. But that's
story of my life.
Nice. Yeah, so that's going to get re-released for the Switch. I'm into that. That's 10 years old. I was actually thinking about playing that again. Just because I never made it all the way through, and it's a lot of people's lists for great RPGs, so that's
good
cool.
That you can finally play it portable mode.
Yeah, right, because it wasn't portable before. But it said in the video, that you can use the touchscreen or you can use Joy-Cons to control your characters. I'm wondering if you guys remember the original game was a 2-screen affair. I know that they re-released it for the iPhone where you don't have to use 2 screens, so I'm sure there's another way to do it. But
I have that game too, and I never really got past maybe the first 4 or 5 hours of that game. I didn't get too far into it.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked it.
Well,
I just think at the time I had too many games and I moved past it pretty quickly. But
yeah, sure.
I think I would not get the Switch version just because I already have the DS version, and I'd rather play the original one.
Yeah, but there's more to this one. I mean, there's a new story. It's like the definitive edition or whatever. It's probably not going to be that much. I imagine it being like $20 or something like that. I don't think it would sell for like 60.
I hope
so
so.
I'll definitely get it. I mean, it's.
I think I'll check it out. I played the original for a couple of hours. My old roommate had it, and he highly recommended it. I played it. It's hard. It was hard to wrap my head around controlling 2 characters at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious how they're going to do that on the Switch. I mean, they'll probably use a touch screen for handheld mode, but how does that work with docked mode?
Well, they also mentioned that you could use the Joy-Con, so I'm wondering if like there's a thing where you can do each hand does a different thing for each character, like while you're doing it, because it was all about like controlling 2 people at once and finding the rhythm and all that. So that's what I think that they'll do, because it said touch screen or Joy-Con, so maybe there's a separate whatever control scheme in there. And they did say that there's going to be an additional story added to it for this version, so it is supposed to be the definitive version. So I don't know. I like that game. I'll totally return to it. That's fine with me. It's like 10 years old. It's not like something that came out, not as long as that as some of the other stuff that's on there. But yeah, that one's a good for me. That one's a thumbs up for The World Ends With You.
That game's always had one of my favorite titles too. I just think it's a cool title.
Yeah, it has a sick soundtrack too.
It's a Square game, right?
It is a Square game, yeah.
So hey, look at that! We're getting a Square game on the Switch. Like, that's the first one we'll get probably.
Yeah. Well,
it just says it comes out in 2018. It doesn't say when.
No, I mean Lost Sphear Square.
But it's not out yet, is it?
Yeah, no, but it'll be out in like a week.
Oh, okay.
The Lost Sphear is coming out. I think it's the 23rd. It's at the end of this month, or it's either the week before the end or at the end. So we have that one coming out pretty quick. There's another Square game on there too, which we'll get to that one. Well, I guess we could talk about it now. They don't really say anything. There is a Dragon Quest Builders demo out today, which I'm gonna stream after we're done here. So I'll stream that, and I'm gonna stream Fury as well, which I already got. Which keeps
I know nothing about that game, so I'll give it a try.
Which keeps reminding. Well, Dragon Quest Builders is basically Dragon Quest meets Minecraft. So to try that out today, it's on the it's on there already. I went and checked the eShop. They added it. But speaking of stuff that was added to the eShop, next up is more DLC for Pakkun Tournament. I don't think any of you guys are into that. I do. Age of Slash is one of my favorite Pokemon. Like, I did use him a lot in X and Y, so it is kind of cool that he's on there. The one that's basically the Master Sword as a person, or as a thing, which was one of my favorite Pokemon, so I thought that was kind of cool. So, I don't know. Yeah, they're going to do like 2 waves, like Blastoise is on there too, which is cool that they're still adding characters to that game. I did really like that game for Wii U, but it's another game that I already bought for Wii U. I didn't want to double dip on, but with all the extra DLC stuff, I was kind of tempted a little bit to buy it again. But that's kind of a maybe on my side. They kind of blew through that one pretty quick. But yeah, there's 2 different waves, like one coming out at the end of this month and one coming out towards the end of March. So that's on there too. You can get like the full version of whatever a Pakkun Tournament, if anybody wants to get that. After that is the that Kirby game that has a name now that we saw on E3.
What's it called again?
Star Allies.
Yeah, I thought there wasn't a whole lot of fanfare for them revealing the name or anything like that. It's just like, oh, here's Kirby again.
Yeah.
But now there's more info about it.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of fanfare for it when it was announced, I feel like. It's kind of like, oh yeah, here's Kirby. But I mean, it looks fun. It looks like Kirby. There's like a couple new abilities that you have. There's like 4-player co-op on it. So you can play, It looked interesting, I guess. I mean, it's Kirby. It's kind of hard to tell until it comes out, and even then, it all kind of depends on what else is going to be around at that time. But that looks like...
I've never liked Kirby games, so they just don't get me excited. And I remember playing the first one as a kid when I was 10 years old, and being excited from the commercials and wanted to try the game. I got it for Christmas, and then I played it for about 10 minutes, and I realized you could just fly over the whole level
Yeah.
Well,
You got
it
burned.
was that easy. So
You got burned on
they've
Kirby.
always been too easy to me.
I was gonna
So
say
I don't
you
really care about Kirby.
Yeah, but see, you got burned on Kirby 1. Like, Kirby is a whole different thing now than that game. Like,
Yep.
that game is, like, pretty much, like, I don't know. It's, like, it's hard to describe it. It's like
It's
looking...
the first one.
It's like looking at, like, a Spider-Man comic in a Sunday morning paper and think that that's, like, all of Spider-Man. Just because you read, like, 5 panels and thought it had a dumb joke in it. That's basically the scope of, of that game versus the giantness of Kirby. Because Jeremy and I have talked about it before. We had a full-on Kirby episode. But, Kirby Superstar on Super Nintendo is a fucking amazing game. And you have isn't it on the SNES Classic that you have? So you should play you should play that game and come back
yourself.
Come back with your thoughts on whether Kirby is hard or not. Because
And
that game's pretty amazing.
Spring Breeze on that is the original Kirby, so you can go back to that too if you feel like it.
Yeah, you can go back and fly over it. But no, Kirby's an interesting thing because they do so many different things with Kirby that you can't really. I mean, you definitely can't like play. And I don't even like that one that much. The Game Boy one is definitely, I think, one of the worst Kirby outings. So don't be down. Don't be down on the Curbster. He has some good stuff. Yeah. I mean, I liked. Yeah, I mean the
music is fantastic.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. There's all sorts of things that you've seen in Smash Brothers from there. I mean, they're the same guys. Like especially Superstar, you'll see like that fountain from the from Smash Brothers Melee is in there originally because it's all the same developers. I mean, that's HAL. So should give Kirby another go. Don't necessarily have to get Star Allies, but there's some pretty awesome stuff. Like that last one, the Robobot, the Planet Robobot on 3DS was an awesome game too.
Yeah, you talked about that a lot in our 2016 Best of episode.
It was a good game. I did talk about that game in our 2016. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of games to talk about in 2016, but that one was a good one. I did like that game a lot. So, don't count out Kirby. This one doesn't look like super amazing yet. It kind of looks like a regular run-of-the-mill Kirby game, but I don't know.
It's got multiplayer, so that could be cool.
Yeah, the multiplayer definitely into that. It'd be cool if it was online, but they probably don't do that.
What really makes Kirby different from any other platformer? I know he like absorbs enemies and
copy abilities,
copies their abilities.
Yeah.
And, I wonder if he's mad about Mario Odyssey, but
that he stole his copy ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but Kirby's always like, well, I was gonna say it's always 2D, but that's not true because there are some 3D ones on 3DS. I mean, I think what's cool about Kirby is it just kind of lets HAL just be super creative and be like experimental about stuff. Like that, what was that? Kirby Mass Attack was one of the games that I talked about on our Kirby episode, or like Kirby's Air Ride. Those are all like games that are like way different from any of the other Kirby games. You know, like a Mass Attack where you control like 30 Kirbys at once. It's like super fun. Or like Air Ride where it's like a weird, where it's like almost kind of the first PUBG where they like drop you into a world and you have to gather stuff and then fight each other at the end. It's weird. Like that's what I like about those games. It's like how how crazy creative they get with them. So,
all right, I'm open to it.
Give Kirby another chance, man. He's a good guy. He's a good pink puffball. But that one, yeah, that game. I
remember Iwata had his hand in some of the Kirby games too. So
that's true. He did because he worked for HAL.
Show your support for Iwata.
Yeah, do it for Iwata. But that Game Boy Kirby game that you didn't like is really not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite Kirby game. So you're not alone on that one. But don't discount it for that one. That's my Kirby thing. But there's some new modes. There's new modes in there. You can do the artist where you like draw a 2D version of King DDD and throw it at people, and you can spider people and throw them at stuff. I like friend throw. That's a nice ability that they set on there. And now you have friend throw where you can throw your buddies. That's coming out in March 16th, so it's kind of around the corner. Dragon Quest Builders, we talked about that. That has a demo. It's out right now. I'm going to play it later, or you can find it on YouTube. By the time this gets up, the stream will already up, but you'll find my play on YouTube/Fingmater. Here's the one thing that I definitely am not interested in at all but Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition. Third time's a charm, right? How many?
Hey, we are getting a new Zelda game.
Yeah,
sort of.
Hyrule Warriors. The only reason that game worked for me was because there was no Zelda out, and there wasn't a whole lot of games on the Wii U. And I bought the Wii U one, and I played it for long enough to feel like I didn't waste my money on it or anything. I had fun with it, but I don't think there's no way. There's probably no way in hell I'm going to return to it. I don't think ever. But if I don't know. it's hard for me to sell this to anybody, really. Was there anybody out there that's like, man, I wish I had Hyrule Warriors on Switch also with like 30 characters and skins from Breath of the Wild? Well, they're on there now.
It's just easy money.
Yeah.
People want more Zelda.
But it's kind of like, is anybody going to care? Because, I mean, Breath of the Wild is so big and great, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
you can't be Midna.
it's true. You can't be Midnight and you can't be Tingle either. But, yeah, that one's
Can be Tingle?
You can be Tingle, yeah. No, there's like a bunch of different characters you can be in there. So that was like the appeal of it, because I got the season pass for the Wii U one, so I would come back and play whatever character they would add. Like, you can be like the Link from Majora's Mask, so you can turn into like a Honey Link.
Link can be a Linkhole.
You can be Linkle too, the female Link that was only in that game, which that one was kind of like, okay, it's a weird thing to do, but I don't know. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Game of the Year 2018. And there it is.
I've never liked Dynasty Warriors. I love beat 'em ups. You guys know that, but
yeah,
it's just too repetitive to me. And like to see like 100 guys all standing around like waiting for their turn to take you on. It's like, why don't you all fight me? Why are you all taking turns? You can easily beat me.
Yeah, it's kind of more like 20, I think. I don't think there was ever 100.
It's just like waiting in line at Target for the Switch. It's just the game version,
right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, I played it because there was a game drought in Wii U at the time, but I can't really bring myself to get it again. Like I said that I'd try out the Dragon Quest Heroes one if it ever came out in America, which it seems like that one's definitely not, even though it's been out for almost a year in Japan. But I don't know. It's just kind of like, yeah, let's play the port game too. Let's bring some more stuff over. That's basically what they did. But at least they didn't port the old tennis game from 2016 to the Switch, because that was the next one that they put on there, which I was actually I think it looks okay. It has a story mode, that I'm into that. The new
fun.
This is the same tennis game?
No, it's not the same tennis game. That was my segue.
Mario Tennis Aces.
That was my segue, because it would be hilarious if they did port that tennis game that nobody got from the saddest Christmas in Nintendo fan world of 2016. Where all we had was Amiibo Festival and tennis.
Yeah.
But no, this new one looks, it's another tennis game, but it has a story mode. So if it has like RPG, it said like the first time to have story mode since the Game Boy Advance one, so that's a good sign. Because the Game Boy Advance one
and it's got like your literal battles where you have energy and you're trying to kill each other.
Yeah, there's bosses also. There's you're fighting like a giant PD piranha. So I'm really glad that he's still getting represented in these games, because
this is probably the game I thought was the coolest and
right,
the one that piqued my interest the most.
Yeah, it was the most. It was definitely the one that was the most original. That wasn't a remake of another thing or a re-release.
And I'm just like, of course I'll buy this. It's another sports RPG. I love sports RPG.
Yeah, no, I definitely was like, that's probably coming out of it. That's probably what I was most excited about. It was the Mario Tennis thing. So I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. There's no release date for that one, but I'm into
spring of 2018.
Yeah, well, no, no exact date, but yeah, I'm into sports RPGs. But speaking of RPGs, Ys 8. I know you guys are probably not going to get that one, but I'll probably still end up getting it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Ys 8, I think, has been out for PSP for a while. Like, I've been listening to talk of it on other podcasts, and I think this is like a port of it, pretty much. Like it
was originally a PSP game?
I think no, not PSP. I think it's on Vita. I think it's a Vita game.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd mixed up my handouts there. But I wrote down the name just because it's great. The Acrimosa of Dana is Ys 8.
Lacrimosa, yeah.
Lacrimosa, yeah. Whatever that
Lacrimating is to when your tear ducts produce tears is lacrimating.
Yeah. So
something to do with tears.
So Dana's crying. Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something to do with that.
Yeah, Ys 8 looks, I actually thought it was, I know it didn't say it, and I was kind of half asleep when I watched it the first time, but I thought it was a 3DS game, just because of the way the graphics looked and all that. They didn't look super, whatever. But yeah, no, Ys 8, I'll play it. I never played any of the Ys, but I know Ys 1 and 2, Ys Bookin' 1 and 2 were on Virtual Console for Wii. I should pick those up before the Wii shop disappears, but that's all.
The original Ys is so strange.
Yeah.
I have it. The way you fight in that game is you literally just run into the enemy.
Yeah, that's how there was an NES game called Hide Lied that did that too. I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
I played Hide Light.
Yeah, do you remember Hide Light?
Never did.
Yeah,
I remember that game.
You just ran into people. Same thing. Like no battle. You just run into people on the map, and that's how you kill people. It's like early RPG stuff there. Where's our Hide Light re-release?
In a way, it's kind of cool because you could play it with one hand. You just like watch the screen. But no, there's more to it than that. But it was a strange battle mechanic, and maybe just them trying to be unique at the time.
Sure.
But
I feel
Why
like
is it called
I don't know.
Ease?
or Wise. I don't know.
I'd call it
Yeah,
Wise. I'd always seen it spelled out, so I used to call it Wise up until a couple of years ago.
I did not know
Yeah.
how to pronounce it until this direct.
Yeah, you're learning stuff all the time on this show. That's why we're here to tell you how to pronounce Ease 8.
Is that like his name or something, or what's the deal?
I really don't know anything about Ease aside from that it was on Vita before. That's all I know.
It's been out. I mean, it was on. I remember it was on the original Super Nintendo because it was my Game Genie book. When we got the Super Nintendo, we got a Game Genie 2, and it was in the code book. Ease Wanderers from Ease 2 and 3 or whatever. It was the same thing that's been ported to everything else.
Wasn't
it was originally?
I feel like Ease
like
1
an Amiga game or something like that. It started out like back on computer.
I thought that. Well, I think that the version that's on the Wii is I thought it was the TurboGrafx 16 Ease 1 and 2.
Okay.
But yeah, it was probably on computer as well. Wasn't there a DS release of it also?
I'm not sure.
Of Ease 1 and 2? I thought maybe you had that one, Jeremy.
I just have the Wii version. I bought it on the Wii like a few years.
Oh, okay.
You have Wii Ease?
We Ease, yeah. We just sound confusing, but yeah, no. There's like there's like a town that you can build and you fight monsters and stuff like that. It looks like standard RPG fare, but hey, I'm always into RPGs, so I'm down. I'm down for that one. I give my
Always into RPGs like Wii Ease?
like Wii Ease, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll totally check out.
I'd love to
Ease
check
8.
it out because I got this. I've got the less traditional one with Xenoblade, and Ease looks like it's a little bit more like a straightforward JRPG.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still action. It's still like action battle, so you're not really getting turn-based from what it looks like. Looks a little more action-y than Xenoblade even, but...
Action Ease.
Action Ease, yeah. You just add ease to everything. It's great. Works for every sort of conversation. No, yeah. I mean, I've heard good things about Ease 8 from other podcasts that I listen to, so I'm into checking it out. Like, people like it a lot. I know there's some people had problems with the translation, of course, which I feel like they do on every Japanese RPG. So you got that to look forward to. So everybody does that, whatever. But now we got to but after Ease is the biggest announcement of all time, the one that John wanted more than anything. Luigi.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is
Luigi.
in Super Mario Odyssey to hand out balloons.
Hand out balloons. It's exactly as I predicted.
It's the big DLC.
Party favor Luigi.
It's the big Odyssey DLC we were predicting. We got it. It's here.
Super
Yay.
Luigi Odyssey.
It looks really interesting. So you
Balloons
hide
only.
you hide the balloons
Yeah, great.
from other people, and then they find them.
It could be
Yep.
fun.
I think it's like it's got to be something like you just talk to Luigi, and is it only your friends? Is it everyone? Like, can I just I don't know. Like, I don't really. Yeah, and it's not even out yet today. It was just
especially since there was no online mode in Odyssey. Really, there's nothing on there that's online.
just like
So
just like jump rope. Like you can compare your
That's
jump rope
right.
score to other people's.
so it's got to be just a similar thing to how the scoreboard.
Yeah, I
It
think
comes out in February, so that's not that long.
it comes out next month. It's such a small thing that I'm surprised it wasn't out today. It's like.
Right, that's
Okay.
a nice surprise.
It's like, hey, if you found all the moons, you can find balloons too. It's we got that for you. In the meantime, there's not much of Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, hey,
DLC.
check this out. You can't see it. My friend found Mario cereal in Champagne.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
yeah. I think I'm still having stomach aches from last night.
I ate 2 bowls this morning.
I'm kidding. Oh, really? Already? Wow.
I did polish off that box.
Yeah, Luigi balloon mode. Luigi Odyssey balloon fight. We have it. We got that
Luigi PUBG.
in there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you get the ability to make Mario into a coin and take a picture of it with your phone. That's cool, I guess. Just a
It's
new.
pretty much the Dark Souls of Mario Odyssey modes.
Yeah, right. We actually have the Dark Souls of Dark Souls at the end here, which I wanted to make the joke about that because everybody's like, blah blah blah. This is the Dark Souls of this thing. You can actually play it now and figure out what they're talking about. But
I just want to make one last plea. Nintendo, please let us play as Luigi. Please.
No, you take his balloons and you like them. That's what you say. You take those balloons, you hide them, and then you like them.
Why you tease me like this, Nintendo?
In 30 seconds, you get 30 seconds to hide it. So you need to know the level to get wherever. I can see people doing stuff with it. I don't know. I'm not super excited about it, but I'm sure I'll try it out when it happens. I mean, it's free, so whatever. Can go back in there and look for some balloons and shit. After that, the game that I don't know if you guys probably won't be into, but I'll probably try it anyway, just because of my love for fighting games. SNK Heroine Tag Team Finish, I think. I tried to write it down. It's no, that's Dream Finish. Oh, it's a Tag Team Frenzy. SNK Heroine Tag Team Frenzy, which is looks like a crazy fighting game. I guess they're one button moves now. They're not doing all the complex controls and all that. But you play as all the girl fighters from SNK, and you have tag teams and you can fight each other, and there's dream finishing moves on there. So it's kind of obscure in Japanese and all that fun stuff, and I'll probably check out that one. There was like a really small commercial for Art of Fighting 2 in there also, which came out today as the SNK arcade re-release. And like within that thing. So it's like, this character from this game is also in this game that came out today for $8. It's like, all right, cool.
Way to promote the virtual console.
Such a weird direct. After that, one of my favorite games of last year was on there. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle gets Donkey Kong. He'll be added in spring. Which like I said, I watched this half asleep, and I went to sleep and I had a dream that there was actually a demo of Mario plus Rabbids, and I played it. But Donkey Kong wasn't in there. There were these little cricket characters that I was like jumping off of one guy to hit another guy. So
isn't there a DK like Rabbid?
There is a DK Rabbid,
okay.
And he fights him in the in the direct. It shows him, and he has a banana that he throws like a boomerang in the little video there. So maybe that's what his weapon is. Like, it didn't show him with a gun or anything like that. So. Or with a hand cannon. So I don't know. I'm into it. Like, I like Mario plus Rabbids. I even thought about like getting the season pass after I'm done, if I'm still like into, because the challenges on there are really fun. Like, the challenge modes are really cool. So if I'm feeling the itch for more of them, I might splurge on the season pass. Like, once I'm finished with the game. So whatever. More stuff for that. There's a bunch of Payday 2 stuff. Did you guys care at all about that? I didn't really make any notes about it.
I was wanting to try Payday. I heard it was pretty cool. You do bank heists or something?
I think I played Payday 1 because it was free on PlayStation Plus, but not for very long. But yeah, it's basically was PlayStation's attempt to make like a Left 4 Dead type game, which I like Left 4 Dead a lot better. But it's like a 4-player cooperative game, where you're like, where you get into a situation and you're trying to work together to get to the end of it, and there's different scenarios or whatever. But there's like a new character in there, I guess. He has some sort of weird mask that has shit on it that changes. I don't know. My interest level for that one's pretty low, so it's kind of like, I'll check it out when it comes out. And it does come out.
Isn't that a game that they were talking about like really early on in the Switch like reveal? Yeah. Like,
it was in another
Payday 2.
Yeah, it was in another direct from early last year, I feel like. But it's like kind of like, okay, cool.
I think I remember at E3 people online being like, okay, where was Payday 2? They didn't talk about it at all.
Yeah. Well, here it is, and it's coming out next month.
Back.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of online first-person shooter stuff, so, I mean, people play it, I'm sure. But speaking of online first-person shooter stuff, this wasn't in the direct, but whatever happened to Morphe's? Do you remember that game? Where you
Morphe's Law?
Morphe's Law, yeah, where you're like the third person and you shoot people's heads and your head gets giant and all that stuff. I want that game. Whatever happened to that game? That game looked crazy. Looked like a weird-ass Day of the Dead
No
thing.
word on that game.
Yeah, I figured that one would come out quicker, but whatever. FE is on there. That's a isn't that an EA game? It's some developer, or is
it? Yeah, it's published by EA.
Yeah, FE looks.
Was that the first EA game?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean aside from FIFA, right? Or no?
No.
What was the one that they put? Yeah, it was FIFA. They put FIFA on there, and it wasn't that great of a version, right? I think. I don't really keep track of my sports stuff. Yeah, no, EA put FIFA on there, so FIFA is already on there, FIFA 18. But FE,
I'm really interested in this one. This one looks cool.
It looks nice. Yeah, there's some sort of joy. What was it? HD Rumble to talk to the animals or whatever. It looks pretty. They kind of go through it pretty quick, but that comes out next month too, the beginning of February. So
Oh, EA's got FIFA and Faye.
Yeah,
And Faye is it's being released on all platforms at the same time, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
The
good.
Switch
Yeah,
is getting it at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't feel like this direct as a whole was a whole lot of. There really wasn't a whole lot of like new stuff. Like it was all kind of like you already got this, aside from like tennis, But yeah, this is one that's you're right. I didn't notice that it was. It's good to have some stuff that's new, that's not a port from another version or is actually coming out on the date for sure. Is always good because that means that they'll actually get a lot of Switch sales because a lot of people have Switches, so it's good. It's good for them to do that, and we'll actually have them as they'll have a market presence and all that stuff, as long as they don't delay it.
Right.
All
I
these
hope
ports,
there's not a Switch tax for getting it on the Switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and don't charge more either. And then there was a little indie in there called Celeste, which looked cool. I guess you can play it on different levels and make it easier. Do you remember that one? Like the 2D one had an interesting art style. They showed it for like a second. One. It's in there. It's this pink-haired girl. It's 2D. It looked kind of like Super Meat Boy-ish. Had some jumping off walls, like doing crazy platformy type stuff. I thought that game looked cool. And that one's coming out this month, so that's like another one that another indie that they added to the list of other stuff that's coming out. They kind of go through that one pretty quick. And then
it does look really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was another one that kind of stuck out. I was like, I'll play that. And it's probably gonna. I don't know. I don't expect it to be released for a whole lot of money. So And then we had our biggest reveal ever after the Luigi balloon time is Funky Kong in Tropical Freeze for the Switch. Tropical Freeze is an awesome game, and if you didn't play it before, you can get it now. But I played the crap out of that game on the Wii U during times of drought, so I'm not going to buy that one again.
I might. I've never played it.
It's a good game. Funky Kong makes the game easier. Of course, they put him in there and he can walk on spikes and stuff like that, which I'm not really into because I think
got the surfboard. You can surf on the water.
Yeah, but it's like it's a hard game. Whatever. Like people like hard games. Like.
But it's an option.
I mean, I enjoyed the game because you kind of have to memorize the levels and there's a rhythm to it. But once you get the rhythm, it's a lot of fun. Like I made it all the way through, except I had the last boss syndrome on this one. I got stuck at the very, very end. But I was watching this with Jess and she's like, it's Donkey Kong. Those games have always been hard. They should be hard.
You can play the last boss as Funky Kong.
I can. Maybe I can beat him. I'll beat the whole game. I'll get by the whole game just so I can go through and be Funky Kong, right? And try to beat the last boss. No,
but I mean, this is another case of the Switch, like
Switchboard
wanting to appeal to the whole family. I can play it, but my son, he can play with Funky Kong, and he can feel like he can beat the game too.
Sure. Well, they also had that like easy mode too, where you could make yourself where you could become like Silver Kong and like not get hit as much and all that. That was on there too. So this is just another version of that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I like Tropical Freeze, but it's another port that's on there, so I'm not.
It's a select right on the Wii U, so it's 20 on the Wii U, but it's going to be a lot more on the.
They're probably going to re-release it at 60, which is kind of like, come on, guys, that seems kind of unfair, especially towards all your fans that bought it like 4 years ago or whenever it came out, 3 or 4 years ago. But I mean, what do you guys? Is that yay or nay on that one?
That's yay for me.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll get that.
Yeah, I just wish
the price is not 60.
I just wish it was a new one. We haven't heard from Retro in forever. I feel like this was the last Retro game that's been out ever.
That's what they've been working on, Funky.
All the time,
right? That's what they've
Funky
been working
took 4
on.
years. There's a lot of funk there.
Yeah.
Well, remember, there's a surfboard and a character, so it's two different things.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard to animate both at the same time, really. I mean, and you can hit people with a surfboard and surf on it, so that's difficult also. So you need a whole team for that. You need like 300 people to get the surfboard physics going on that. And then the game that was, and then the last game, which of course, had already been sort of announced or rumored or whatever. The Dark Souls of Dark Souls, Dark Souls. You can finally
the remastered edition.
You can finally start saying the Dark Souls of stuff because you will play that. I only played Demon Souls. It was kind of too hard for my liking. I didn't necessarily like
the second one.
Demon Souls is the first one that was the PlayStation exclusive. So I played Demon Souls. Well, it was Demon Souls. That was only on PS3. I bought the disc for that. And then Dark Souls 1 was on all the others, was on Xbox also. But yeah, I didn't really like Demon Souls 1. I mean, I played it enough. Like, I made it through 2 bosses, which I thought was pretty fucking good since of how difficult that game was. But I wasn't huge into the controls, but I'm willing to give it a try again. People swear by it and call every game that game's the Dark Souls of whatever. So, you know, I'll try it out. It's a birthday game for me. Like, both of them are. Both of them come out around my birthday. Funky Kong Freeze and Dark Souls. So I don't know. Maybe if I want to torture myself on my 38th birthday, I'll get Dark Souls. They didn't really say like if it's gonna be all 3 of them, right? Like as one thing, or you're gonna have to buy them separate, or they didn't really say much about that.
It's just remastered. I think it's the first one.
It's just Dark Souls 1. It's not. You can't get 2 and 3. Okay. Well, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Are you ready to get Dark Souling and punishing yourself? No,
I have it on the
know that much about
360
that
already.
Yeah, it's
I already have it. I might go back and play it and see if I really like it, and then I'll say, well, I do really like it. Maybe I want it portable, and then maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah, it's basically like a action RPG, but really difficult. It's all about like, you know, being able to dodge and hit people at the right time, and it does it do the same thing?
Punishes you for failing like big time.
Does it do the same thing as Demon Souls? Like when you die, you can come back and find your loot, unless you die a second time and then you lose your loot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I kind of know how it... Are there ghosts and stuff? It's
kind of the Mummy Demastered of Dark Souls.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Except in Mummy Demastered, you never, you never lose your stuff forever. You just have to fight yourself over and over and over again until you get it back. But you can't, die so many times to lose it. So, yeah, true. But yeah, there's that on there. Yeah, and that's that mini direct. I mean, what do you, like I said before, I thought it was kind of disappointing. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on this direct?
Disappointing, but again, you know, they never told us there was going to be a direct. This is supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah.
People were just starved for information, and if you're disappointed, it's your own fault.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like, it's just, I don't know. It's not even a... I would have rather just had a full direct. Like I said,
I think it's a placeholder.
Yeah.
Just to satiate the people that are, like John's saying, that are just obsessed. And I mean, that's Nintendo's got everyone whipped into a frenzy over the Switch, which is good for them marketing wise. But people want info, and Nintendo's been notorious about, you know, being really tight-lipped about everything they're doing. So this is like them throwing us a bone, really. It's like, well, don't worry, we got more releases coming in the next couple of months.
It's like, don't worry.
You know, what's the January? Did we get the January release? Is that wait, what was it? Celeste? Is that our big January release?
Oh yeah, what's coming out in January? I don't know.
It's either Celeste or the Pakkun DLC.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, for all the people that are in the frenzy about the Switch, it's like, hey, you guys who loved Wii U, you 2 guys that have Switches, well, more Wii U. There's 3 Wii U games in this mini direct that they're re-releasing. So, you know, it works so well for that system that you should re-release.
And a DS game.
And a DS game, yeah. And and Dark Souls and all that is also a port.
Some might even say it's a port of a phone game if it's the remastered one from iPhone.
Yeah, but I think the Switch version is going to be different than the iPhone game. I think the touchscreen will be similar, but it's going to be a different game, you know. But yeah, there are two Square games on there, the builders and that. What were you going to say?
Overall, my feeling is that all the ports are indicative of good original content to come, because publishers have seen, the Switch has sold a lot. We need to have something on there right now. And so here we got all these ports coming. That means they're working on something else bigger and better and newer.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's tennis. That's what they're putting all their stuff on. It's whatever. Mario Tennis Aces looks better than whatever the Wii U one was. So I'm just happy that it wasn't a port of that, like I said. But yeah,
I guess as we get a full direct in 1 month when the Mario DLC drops, and they'll say, "Here's all this cool new stuff." I know Mario's available today.
Yeah, we'll get it when the balloons come out. When we get to find the balloons. All right. Well, yeah, that's been our direct update. You know, it did happen. It makes me wonder. I mean, it's like the chicken or the egg. Like, were they thinking about doing this before the frenzy or after or whatever?
It had to have taken some time to put it all together.
Yeah.
To edit it all together. So
maybe they wanted.
I read another rumor that said that they were having problems with YouTube. They wanted the video to be monetized, but they were having trouble with YouTube. I don't know if that's true or not. But I would believe it because
Nintendo was having trouble with YouTube. Yeah, well, it's like, dude, it'd be like, I mean, it's like, do you need it to be monetized? I mean,
yes,
they're already making money from the Switch. Yeah, well, I didn't see any ads on it, so I don't know. But yeah, that's our update. This has been episode 103. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson,
Jerry Mikowski,
John Nitter.
And you can catch us on YouTube/FingMater. You can check out my Dragon Quest Builders demo play after this, and Fury. I'll be playing that also. So you can check that on YouTube. You can find us at NintenDomainPodcast.com, on iTunes, any of the other podcast selling apps you can find out there. If you like our show, give us a review and all that, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. We'll be back next week to talk about more Nintendo stuff, of course.
Oh, one more thing. It looks like Japan finally got Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
they didn't have it yet.
I did actually check the Japanese eShop when I was trying to find the Dragon Quest demo, because it wasn't added until later. So after the direct, it wasn't on there yet. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya. I think, you know what, another thing we didn't test out with it probably tastes better if you're watching either the Mario movie or like the Super Show.
I think so. I think it's way better.
Yeah.
You're just like sitting there in your pajamas, kind of like laid back, relaxed with the box of watching Mario Brothers.
Also, if you got your Mario pajamas on.
Yeah, and you don't got shit to do that day.
Right.
Yeah.